Painkiller already, episode 405. No guest tonight. Kyle?
Few sponsors tonight: Lending Club, Audible, Chegg, and eBay. Ever wish you didn't need to buy batteries, coils, a tank, and a bottle just to get started vaping? eBay, the new vape system from the creators of Zamplebox, changes all of that. eBay's hardware blends simplicity with top shelf quality. eBay features a super compact battery, high capacity pods, and are more than twice the capacity of Juul pods, and that features ceramic coils so you never get a burnt hit. eBay features a perfectly curated lineup of 5 delicious flavors, so you're sure to find one that's perfect for you. So for a limited time, get a free eBay kit and $10 off your pack of pods on your first order when you sign up for monthly auto ships that deliver with 3 or more packs of pods. Plus, all eBay auto ship orders get free shipping. Just use the code PKA at checkout when you visit ebay.com. That's ABAY.com.
All right.
Check them all out. Well done on the read, Kyle.
So
another guestless show. So we can go anywhere.
We were going to have Vladimir attempted Rapislav, but he couldn't make it. He had another pressing engagement.
No, I'm sorry. That's a pre-show character. The listeners don't get that guy.
Okay. That's one that
Vladislav attempted Rapislav. Yeah.
Taylor's fleshing.
Vladislav Molestoslav sounds more natural.
That's his nephew. That's his nephew. They're a two-man act. Before the show, we spent like 15 minutes to Taylor's chagrin watching a bit of the Conor McGregor Khabib Nurmagomedov fucking press conference. And look, I know not everybody's not a mixed martial arts fan. I know everybody's not a fight fan, a Conor fan, or anything like that. But I think everyone can appreciate a bit of showmanship. Like I don't like professional wrestling, but occasionally I can go on YouTube and I can search like The Rock's best moments, and just The Rock getting up there and talking shit, and be like, he talks like a mad shit, and then he'll be like, what do you think? And the other guy tries to say something. He's like, it doesn't matter what you think, and you're just like, oh fuck yeah, burn him, and that's scripted. But we're watching Conor McGregor go after Khabib up there, red-faced, screaming at Khabib, calling him a rat and a weasel, insulting his patriotism, his manhood. Meanwhile,
and he's all doing it in a language he doesn't understand that well.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you put the smartest Russian who's monolingual next to me, I'll beat the shit out of him in a rhetorical, combative, thing, as long as it's in English. Like it's the equivalent of him having me there at his press conference when he's like, "Oh, don't be something haciendo. And everybody's like, ja, like in the fucking crowd, and I'm like, Gino Succo. And he's like, and it's like, oh, this sucks. Being on the other side of this is no fun.
All the while, of course, Conor McGregor has a bottle of his own liquor in front of his 2 belts, and he's promoting it. He spends at least a solid minute promoting his liquor. He's holding it up, cursing Jameson whiskey and saying that this is real Irish whiskey. He's like, you know what? I need a glass. I need a glass. Can someone bring me a glass? And Dana White's like, no, don't bring him a glass. They can bring him a whole bunch of glasses.
When Kyle says his own liquor, Conor owns a liquor company. It's not. That doesn't mean he owns the bottles. He owns the company, so he's pimping his side business. Yeah,
so he pours 3 shots. He gives Dana one, and Dana toasts Conor, and Khabib's just sitting there, and Conor's like, you know what? He needs a drink too. Khabib's Muslim. He doesn't drink alcohol. He's just like, no, I don't drink alcohol. I never do this. And Conor's like, I've seen you drink. I've seen you drink. He's like, no, I don't drink. He's like pushing it away, like he almost doesn't even want to touch it. Like it's really entertaining. We watched like 15 minutes of like the best part of it. I'm sure it's on YouTube if anyone's interested, but good shit. And I was saying Conor can sell a fight.
Kyle's right. Conor can sell a fight. Kyle and I have a $5 bet on this fight. He has Conor. I have Khabib. And I'm not sure watching that press conference that I thought Conor got the best of him, right? Conor was certainly the seller, right? He did the best of selling the fight. That much is unquestioned. But he was upset. He was red in the face. Conor's sweating. He's on tilt. Khabib is bored. He's like Fedor almost. He's another fighter. And he was just like watching Conor spaz out. He'd ask some questions like, hey, I wrote to you. Why didn't you write back? I don't want to talk about Twitter. I don't want to talk about who does Twitter. Khabib's sliding in his DMs, like talking to him like about like real life shit. Conor doesn't want to do that. He just wants to do the show shit.
He just wants to do the bants. Which I can respect. I'm fine with him just being a banter master.
Oh,
but
yeah.
He's probably getting 10% of the pay-per-view. He's trying to get asses in the seats and people fucking pressing buy, right?
So you've got McGregor, and Woody, you're Nurmagomedov, right?
Nope.
Or something like that. Nurmagomedov.
There you go.
Right? Nurmagomedov? Okay.
Well.
Well, that guy, you've got him. Like, my uneducated look, first glance, Nurmagomedov has winning ears. He has the ears of a winner. The ears that have been beaten to shit.
Those are also the ears
Connor
of a
has delicate little baby ears. Like on a little newborn child. Like he and his son's ears, if you like cropped those out and put them next to each other, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But Nurmagomedov has winner's ears. That means he's taken a beating and he knows what's up. So I'm gonna throw my not $5 in his corner.
This is the kind of fight analysis you can only get on Painkiller already.
That's right.
See, this guy talks in a scary accent and he's got big old ears, so I'm gonna have to give him the edge. You know.
Chael Sonnen, take notes right here and now. No, Connor's gonna fucking knock this guy the fuck out. He's gonna catch this guy with a left. Habib moves in one direction. He's fucking he's done. He's done. Connor's gonna dance around this guy. Habib's not gonna be able to take him down. He's barely even gonna be able to catch him, and Connor's gonna knock him the fuck out, and the crowd's gonna go wild. And Connor's going to make many millions of dollars, and they'll be lucky if he comes back and fights again.
It's funny. I don't know that there's ever been anyone who's better at taking his opponent to the ground and smashing him. For some reason, Khabib doesn't do submissions very much. He just takes him to the ground, and he punishes him. People don't want to fight him because it's really unpleasant. He just fucking hits you repeatedly, lightly, for round after round after round until you're looking for a way out. But I don't know anyone who's ever been better at like just sort of putting his hand on you, keeping distance, and drilling you with that left. And it's the best of each world. I can't wait.
Can't wait, man. Can't wait. Very excited. Very pumped.
Connor's an inch shorter, and he has a 4-inch reach advantage.
Yeah, he has my reach,
true.
And he's 5'9".
That's a really long reach for a 5. He must look awkward as shit walking around with his hands down like below his knees.
You've seen him do that walk, right? That silly walk where he like does his arms all loopy-loop.
I don't trust those numbers at all. I see like 2 6-foot guys, and then they line up, and one can put his nose on top of the other guy's head. I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
You could put some of those feather wings that kids put on when they're little, and Connor could fucking take off. All right, that man's got a wingspan. It's gonna be wonderful. I'm so excited for this fight. I'd pay double. To watch it.
You put on plastic wings as a kid to play?
Yeah.
And a tutu. You didn't do that? You didn't wear feather boas and tutus like Kyle?
Usually a thong.
I mean, I didn't spend much time with the local, LGBTQ center like Kyle did.
He was that kid at the parade 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle was the original transgender kid.
I was known as the Rainbow Warrior. My outfit was half rainbows and half Randy the Macho Man Savage. It was a mixture of my two favorite things in the world. Did you ever play pretend?
Things.
Did you play imagination games like pretend shit? I mean, you had brothers, so maybe you didn't have to go to that as much. I just had a sister who was a fucking, a cunt playing with her Barbies and shit. But like, I had to imagine stuff when I was like 7 years old and make my own fun. If I had some video games, but it was old video games. They were lame. So what would you do for your imagination games?
We do a lot of like cops and robbers, cowboys and Indians. When the Fellowship of the Ring came out, I think I was like 10 or 11. And so still young enough to like be fiddle fucking around outdoors and everything, but old enough to have a little bit of like building to that. And so we would do stuff like build a fortress and then have the orcs attack. And we would like build our own bows and arrows and stuff and shoot them at each other. And kids got hurt all the goddamn time. But it was like an understood thing with the neighborhood kids. Like if you get hurt playing Assault on fucking Hobbiton or whatever it was if you want to play Mines of Moria with the cool kids and you want to be a goblin who's storming in to that burial chamber, and you have the biggest kid gets to be the cave troll.
I was about to say, was there a fat kid? Then the fat kid shows up. They have a cave troll.
See, I played the cave troll when I was on the assaulting side. The cave troll did not get a ranged weapon. That would be unfair. I got a large stick. And if I hit you hard enough with that stick to bring you to your knees, you were dead. But if I barely clipped you and you like got away, you were not dead.
This sounds amazing. See,
it was so much fun, dude.
My games were all imagination. When I was 5, I would put all my toys on the floor, and there would be imaginary battles, right? I'd separate them between fantasy and reality. So on the right would be the fantasy characters. He-Man and Skeletor would join forces, all right? There'd be a ton of stuff like that. And then on the left, I had my army men with their army tank. And they'd have to face off against this barrage of Ninja Turtles and Star Wars characters and shit like that. And I would just sort of like make believe and make them fight. And that one died. Obviously, no one beats He-Man, and go about it that way. And then by the time I was like 7, I would take all of my electronics and put them on the bed like a command center around me, like video game controllers, like anything that was electronic and had buttons. And I would play space, right? I was like Bubbles, fucking pretend going to space and operating my command mod. Yeah, all by myself. I didn't have anybody. Yeah.
I picture 12-year-old Taylor looking a little like he does now with the full beard and jacked as fuck, straight edge razor, and Lord Farquaad voice. Some of you may die. That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. As he goes out there with this giant club and fucks up all the people who hit puberty at a normal time.
But it was
like
fun.
The guy from, he's like the guy from Gangs of New York who had the club that was his weapon of choice, and it had the notches carved on it from every man he killed.
It looked serrated at that point. Like, is how many notches. Like, we played another game in my backyard, like where when we'd carpool, and there'd be a couple kids who'd always come back, and then of course, like you'd always hope, like, man, I hope my mom and her mom and his mom talk a lot so we can play outside and stuff until they go home, and that would always happen. And so then you get the neighborhood kids to come over, and I was like I said, it's not a meme. I was much bigger than other kids at the time, and we'd play a game where, did you guys ever do where you like stand in a big field? You know, our backyard was very large, and you grab someone by the wrists and you start spinning, kind of like when Mario throws Bowser. And it's a ton of fun because you don't let go like to try and hurt someone. The only time you would let go is if they like slipped from your grasp, if you got going too quick. But like usually be like spin them around and like they're having a fun time, like they're on a fair ride, and you're having a fun time because you get to like lean back super far as you're holding them and pretend that you're Mario throwing Bowser off of that platform in Mario 64. And one time, this happened a few times, more than a couple times, it would get sweaty. And I would let go of the kid, and he would fly off. And very rarely did they get hurt. But one time specifically, it was a very small kid who didn't usually carpool with us, and he wanted to play too, not to be left out. And I was so determined to not let him go, to not ruin his experience of the first time, you know, because I want return customers. This is fun for me. And I spun this kid so goddamn hard that one of his shoulders came out of socket. That like he was like started crying in the middle of the spin, and I was like, in my head, I'm like, this is the fun part. Like, this is when you have fun. Like all the like my brothers and everybody else, like everybody's having a grand old time. Then he like got down and like like holding his elbow, went up to my mom, and I got yelled at as if I did it on purpose.
Pussy.
We did that to my daughter. There's an easy fix for it. You could have brought him over. We'd have slapped him up. So how we actually did it is she was like 2 and sucked at stairs. So we'd hold her hand, and if she fell, well, then she'd get like, rescued by the arm. Well, apparently that can damage children. So she like pretended to be fine. She was like a real trooper through it. And we're just like, it's been 3 days of her holding her arm like this. Maybe she's hurt. Smart. She says she's not, but she's not using that arm much. And the doctor just kind of took it out and like did that, like this motion. Yeah. And she was good to go. And I think it might have happened one other time. My wife was like, I know this one. And she did that, and it was fine.
I remember once specifically something like that happened. If I told this before, it was a long time ago. It's not like it's long. But we were at the zoo. And the St. Louis Zoo is free to go to, and it's one of the best zoos in the world. It's incredible. It's got so many species. It's awesome. And we were headed, I was maybe 4 or 5 at the time, and my younger brother was a couple years younger. And we were on the way to the monkey house. And I was with my mom and my grandma. And I was with my mom, like pulling her like towards the monkey house. Like, come on, we got to get to the monkey house. I want to see the monkeys. There's a whole building full of fucking monkeys. And behind me, my grandma and my younger brother were. And my brother was throwing a fucking fit. And he did that thing that kids do where holding the hand, he just goes, ugh, and he goes down limp like that. Mm-hmm. And in the process of doing that, pulled his arm out of his socket and started freaking the fuck out. 20 yards from the monkey house. The whole reason I wanted to spend my Saturday, which I had no volition anyway because I was 4, was to go to the fucking monkey house and see it. And I was like in my like most like argumentative form at 4, like, well, no, we can't leave right now. We're so close to the monkey house. No, we have to stay. No, just Grandma and Hip could go back. We could go to the monkey. We can still go to the monkey house. The monkey house is. We can still go to the monkey house.
It's right there.
And then we didn't get to go to the fucking monkey house, and I was livid for longer than a 4-year-old should be able to be livid for a long time after. I'm like, that little bitch kept me from going to the monkey house.
Down a hill in a wagon or whatever the hell you did to him.
You know what? 7 years from now, I'm going to tie you up and put you in a wagon and push you down a hill in order to exact my revenge. I was playing the long con. And a year after that, we'll play WWF in the basement, and I'll give you a concussion. On accident. No, never the same.
But you got to bet.
He didn't have a speech impediment before.
Yeah. And I understand he's got a really nice wheelchair.
He does. Yeah, it's got it's bedazzled.
Cool.
He doesn't care what it looks like. It knocked out his occipital lobe. So.
Yeah. He was going to get the flashing wheels, but flashing lights after all those head injuries are just a bad idea for him. He goes full seizure mode.
What do we
got here?
So this is in China. Parents are hiring intimidating uncles. These aren't really uncles. They're like mob members and shit. Like I know Yakuza is Japan, but that's what he looks like to me in the picture. Mm-hmm. And they're basically, when kids are getting bullied, they send these uncles in to threaten and rough up the bullies. They pay $443 a day, which is 500,000 KRWs, whatever the heck that might be. And there's like a chaperone package where the the uncle will protest in front of office buildings and scream, a parent of a bully works here, shit like that.
Hell yes.
I'm loving it, man.
Oh, that's great. Man, you hire a... I wonder how competitive the anti-bully market is for uncles.
Oh.
Like, oh, no, I beat anti-bully uncle for 400 a day. It's like, oh, no, I do for 300. Like, you think it's very competitive, trying to make sure your kids are safe?
Maybe there's an anti-bully market to be delved into, Taylor. I bet these guys, these bully masters, are like the tallest men in the province, and they're 5'9" or something like that. Like, look at this guy smoking the cigarette with the full arm tat. He doesn't look scary to me.
Taylor, can you share? I'm sorry, Chiz. Can you show that picture?
He doesn't look scary to me. He looks somewhat annoyed, like he can't find which apartment to bring the Grubhub food to.
He looks like someone else stole his parking spot. That's about how pissed he looks.
He just realized he left his lighter at home. That's the look on his face right now. He's like, motherfucker. I think someone like you, for example, you could go over there and you could be the anti-bully guy, and you could be like, make it 500, and I'll beat the shit out of that fool out there smoking in his $800 car. Like, you just go slap that guy around, and you're the bully's anti-bully.
This is a good idea. This is a business. Ma'am, yes, this is my translator. I know you don't speak a lick of English. I'm happy to go in and beat the shit. I know your son is a prominent bully, the best in the province, I've heard, and I'll be damned if I'm going to let that sort of promise slow him down in the political game. He's the next Xi Jinping, potentially. And so, how about this? You give me 500,000 or whatever bullshit money you people use. and I will beat the shit out of any Chinese threatening uncle in the world. I'm an American. I brought a gun. And then I get hired, and think about it. Like, this doesn't even have to be a one client thing. How many Asian uncle anti-bullies could I beat up in a day if I'm making 500,000 ching chong per day?
Jesus fuck.
You know, I'm gonna be loaded.
And I imagine you the whole time dressed as Uncle Sam, right? Like, you show up like Apollo Creed in Rocky IV, like you're doing a little dance. James Brown is singing for you, and you've got the American flag top hat, the full thing, and you're like, this is for Trump, and you just beat these guys down.
That might be the wrong direction to go, because I don't think they're that afraid of the Americans or Trump. We haven't fucked with them in a while. You know who Chinese people dislike?
The Japanese.
The Japanese. So I will dress in full samurai regalia, not the real stuff. I'm not going to invest too much in this. Just like a the darkness, kind of like a open 6 weeks a year Halloween store level samurai. is what I'm going to purchase. Okay. And that'll really threaten them because they know the rape of Nanking. They know how much those Japanese have been fucking with
on you.
Yes. You know what? I bet saying I'm gonna go Nanking on your ass in China is like really offensive.
Whoa! Ooh, is it very offensive?
I'm glad that you went with samurai because I was brainstorming as you were getting there, and I'm coming up with skinny Japanese guys in skinny pants and long styled hair. Ladies love,
they don't
bullies
fear.
don't. No, who would?
They don't fear the modern Japanese man. They fear the past Japanese man, the samurai, the honorable samurai.
You could be,
and I would even beat the shit out of them in a fake accent like this that they would clearly see through. It would only add to their shame.
I see
little like Dracula mixed in there.
Knockoff competitors.
Yes, aha! How many times will I punch you today? One punch, a two punch.
You could be the samurai, right? But there's other Japanese tough guys. We could have big sumo wrestlers come around, and they're like thongs and.
See, but then you get into the endurance game. You got to have a lot of clients to keep this business up. Those sumo folks are going to be burnt after one belly bump. You know, then he has to get across town, find another bully. You know, imagine how many people are in China, and like the amount of bullies here is at most a quarter that of China. So there's a lot of money to be made in the bully market, especially with China, where their culture is like, oh, you don't let us cheat, we cheat anyway. Like, you have to let us cheat. It's not, if you don't let us cheat, it's not fair. Like, that's what we went over last time, remember?
Their idea of R&D is stealing tech.
Yeah, it really is. There's a lot of countries out there that are like, yeah, we're just going to wait for the U.S. or Russia or someone to figure this out, and then we'll pilfer it. So, yeah, this is a good business idea. I'm going to put this next to Tilk.
Yeah, there was a movie like this, honestly. I can't remember the name of the movie, but basically this kid's getting picked on in school, and he hires a bully. Like some kid who like rides this motorcycle,
isn't it? Where they
he hires a really quiet guy. I don't think he hired a bully. He just hired a tough guy.
Yeah, he hires a tough guy to like deal with his bully problem. Well, his bully goes and hires a much tough guy who bullies the bully beater.
And throws his motorcycle in the lake.
Beats his ass and like throws his motorcycle in the lake. It's great. It's
is
really
it Drill Bit Taylor?
I don't remember the name of the movie. I was just Googling trying to find what the name of it was. Is it How to Beat a Bully?
I mean,
no,
the
that's some kids
right.
movie.
Yeah,
no, that's some bullshit movie. I can't find it, but yeah, it's a pretty good movie. And at the end, of course, there's redemption. Where
it's called The Bodyguard. Oh, it's called My Bodyguard.
Okay.
My Bodyguard. And
My
it's
Bodyguard.
From 1980.
Yeah. And at the end, both of the bullied gentlemen get their revenge. The kid who initially hired a guy to help him out, he stands up to his own bully himself and beats him up. And the guy who was hired to deal with that guy also stands up to the much bigger guy, and he also beats him up. So it's a good ending.
You know, the risky part about going to China and being a bully for hire is that you can't blend afterward. Like they're going to be like, hey, what's that guy look like that beat you up? It's like, well, he's white, he's got a beard and dark hair, and he's a head taller than everyone else, and he's wearing a rice farmer's hat. Oh my God, there he is! Yeah. I don't know why he wore a rice farmer's hat. Yeah, look at him. He looks like a goddamn picnic tent over there in comparison to these people. So yeah, that might. We'd have to get those glasses that like are really offensive that make your eyes look Asian, like Anthony Cumia used to wear those. Yeah, like Mickey Rooney glasses, like those ones. I feel like if we go too far with this, we're gonna get beat up by the normal Chinese people instead of just having to fight the bullies.
If you've never seen Mickey Rooney in that movie playing an Asian man, and it's Breakfast for Tiffany's where he plays the guy. Here's a link. It is the most offensive thing I've ever seen.
It's hilarious.
Mr.
Yuniyoshi.
I heard they were going to try to get Michael B. Jordan to play Superman in a movie, and I was a little upset. I was like, come on, Superman's not black. Like, I know Superman's not real at all, but like, there's plenty of black superheroes that he could play. Like why? But then you see stuff like this, and you're like, fuck, we did it. We've been doing this shit for like 50 years. Longer. Because remember John Wayne playing Genghis Khan in a movie? That's even worse. He had the silly mustache too. Oh, it's
You're gonna fall before the strength of my hordes.
Pilgrim.
I hadn't thought about it through that lens. We've been whitewashing so much. It's about time they
Blackwashed?
What is there blackwash? That's not what washing is. Maybe it's a primer. I don't know.
It's in the black
yeah.
I'm looking at some of these from the article you listed, Kyle. Off-color casting in Hollywood. None of these are funny, other than the first one. These are just lame, other than that. But yeah, that's a hilarious. Like, it's so over the top Asian. If someone came out like that as a character, like, you couldn't help but like laugh. You know, like that's hilarious.
It's a bit much. It's a bit much. I watched Breakfast with Tiffany's like 4 years ago, and that part comes up, and I was like, whoa. Who the fuck is that white guy? That guy's not Asian. Mickey Rooney? That's Mickey Rooney?
Yeah, they even have him. They have him looking like this, like, oh, he got his big teeth there. Like,
he looks like a propaganda poster.
He does. He looks like a propaganda poster, like where they're like, you know, if you don't vote yes after the war, after these Japs are going to be over here raping your women soon. Like those levels of propaganda posters.
Yeah.
Number 8 on that list. I had forgotten that Johnny Depp played Tonto not long ago.
Yeah, he sure did. I think a lot of people forgot because only like 18 people went and watched that shit.
I saw that and I didn't even know what movie it was from.
Yeah, it's Lone Ranger. They did a Lone Ranger movie. Didn't do very well.
Yeah, I saw that thing about they're going to make Superman black, and like I don't care about superhero movies that I like when I don't care about the agenda or whatever, but when something happens in that community where they all get upset with like, he can't be black, he's a Martian or something, and like just seeing the people get pissed off, it's like, God, you're like, you're being ridiculous right now. Like, I can understand if you're like, oh, we should stay white because it's the characters, you know, kind of like it would be weird if he turned like racist all of a sudden. It's kind of supposed to be like continuity, right? You would imagine it's always the same Superman, just a different act, kind of like the way Batman is. Or like if Batman appeared as like Japanese, you'd be like, but like there's an understanding. These are different actors, but it's all Batman, right? And now he's Japanese. But I don't know. I like seeing the superhero community get pissed at things that I think are silly.
Well, Kyle, I know you hate the superhero movies, but you're just going to have to fucking swallow it because they're only getting bigger and they're getting more prevalent. Disney is coming out with its own streaming service. A lot of people know about this. And of course, it's difficult to like just start up a streaming service. Now, they do have a huge catalog of movies, but a lot of them are already signed away to places like Netflix and Hulu. Well, they've canceled all those deals. As soon as they run out, all that shit gets sucked back to the Disney service. They're going to make a TV show with Loki. They're making a like a mini series with Loki and Scarlet Witch. And they're, of course, the actors from just saying it's 2 different shows. That's cool. I thought it was just one show that featured both of them. But yeah, they're going to get the actors from the big screen to come over and make a mini series on their streaming service.
Man, that's so dope. It's so
cool.
Right? That's what we need. We need more original superhero movies, but not like really, really original. Like rehashes, slightly changed to be more palatable to a modern audience from the 50s and 60s. How long will these idiots drink this swill? Let's find out.
I like superhero movies. They're some of my favorites. I'm excited about the next Avengers. Kyle, you want to say something?
I hope they remake Lord of the Rings and they make it a fucking travesty. I hope that the Hobbits are fucking Korean. I hope the Hobbits are all played from the people from that movie, Sexy Rich Asians or whatever. And I hope all of the ghouls and goblins and shit are played by black men. And I hope you just every time you cry about it, I'm
little people, but not little people like that dude from Game of Thrones. They need to have that weird voice where it's like,
and you have my sword.
Yeah.
And you have my bow.
It's like he wasn't even a midget. Like,
yo, you got my axe.
And then you just sing a lot. Like Lollipop Guild, throw that shit in there. I don't care. Just
Samuel L. Jackson is gonna play Gandalf. You're gonna just have to suck it up.
Dude, Samuel, I can't imagine a worse choice for Gandalf than Samuel L. Jackson. Literally, no tact, no little like limericks or riddles for people. Speak, friend, and Anna. Friend. And then it enters up because he wouldn't even look past the first layer.
No, he would do this. He'd do like a black person handshake with The Rock, right? Like it'd be all crazy, right? It's gonna be great. You're gonna look. I hope a transgender person plays Arwen. I hope it's a dude. all the way.
And then it's clear that Aragorn's actor the whole time isn't down for it.
Yeah, he's
he's also Japanese. Obviously, he's like, this was not a part of the contract. I was led to believe a real woman would be here.
The blade which was broken is now reforged. Yeah,
the shards of Anduril.
I am a keeper of
Narsil.
the flame of a Numenor. You're gonna feel it then when they start taking away the things that matter to you, your childhood, and they start corrupting it and bastardizing it with
Take
their
that.
social justice warrior ways.
I mean, like, I feel good for people who are enjoying the superhero movies. Like, if that's what you like, enjoy it. I don't actually. I like that it bothers people that I don't like them. It's fun to like push those buttons, but I don't really care at the end of the day. That being said, Kyle, if your iteration right there of Lord of the Rings came to be, would there be like, I am Frodo Baggins, I must get the ring to Mordor, or like what? Like I would be so upset, it would ruin my day.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, he's not Japanese, or oh, he's not black, or he's a hobbit.
We need to just throw in new characters that weren't there before.
Oh,
Right?
Oh, like they did with the fucking with the Hobbit series, where they're like, hey,
Yeah.
let's kill Smaug way too soon in the third movie, and then let's interject a storyline about an elf character that didn't exist because we need more women, or they're gonna get pissed at us. And then let's throw like it was
Yeah.
that was despicable of them. Like there's not enough story to go through already. You got to add other storylines. You got to have Legolas jumping on those rocks. Like this is a fucking 1989 platformer game. Like no, it's
What were they thinking when they added Brock Lesnar in blackface? I don't know. It's Lord of the Rings.
dude, look. That's where specimens like Brock Lesnar should be utilized. I feel like when you're that
Blackface.
enormous, not necessarily in blackface. I mean, maybe
like an Uruk-hai, like in the makeup and everything. He'd be the biggest Uruk-hai in the land.
that CGI like orc goblin leader in the last movie, the pale orc or whatever his name was, looked awful. If it had just been Brock Lesnar with prosthetics and they do voiceover for him, like someone else do the voice like he's Darth Vader, right? That would have been scary as fuck if he looked
Brock
legit.
Lesnar doesn't have the right proportions to me.
But he's an orc.
get-
He doesn't look human. It's perfect.
Yeah,
For
okay, strong point. My vision of like a superhuman looks more like He-Man. You know, just all biceps and V shape. Brock Lesnar is so huge; it looks like his rib cage doesn't fit through a doorway. You know,
I love He-Man. I watched there's a thing on Netflix called something about like the Legend of Grayskull or the story of Grayskull. And anyway, it's like an hour-long documentary about He-Man and how the cartoon, how it started with the toys, and then they made the cartoon, and then they made the comics, and then they made the movie, and it's got Dolph Lundgren in it and all the creators and everything. And I'm watching it, just reliving my childhood, because like the toys came out in like 75, 76, and then by the 80s they were huge. Like I had Castle Grayskull, I had Man at Arms and He-Man and Skeletor and fucking Beastman and Seaman and all of the hot chick
All the men.
characters.
Yeah.
That's all. That's what they had. All of them.
She
And
had Seaman.
was there really a Seaman?
there was
I
a
didn't get him
Seaman.
until I was
There was going to
15.
be the female character was going to be named.
Taste my salty bleachy spray.
Each of his fingers looks like a penis head instead of a fingernail. They're just blasting
Aha!
him with ink.
Now your eyes all red. You know?
Stings, doesn't it? Visine will only make it worse.
Ah. Now you've got other floaters in your eye to distract you as we tip.
Yeah, I see those pornos where they blast all over the girl's face, and I'm like, I've never seen a girl who didn't immediately want to get that out of her eyes because it burns so bad. But these chicks they're real troopers. They pretend like they want it in there.
I watched. Actually, Kyle, you fucking linked me this video of so it was this woman laying there. And like it wasn't like coming on her face the way like a sensual couple might if they're feeling a little risque. It was this Asian woman like with her eye like held open by her own, like holding
Like
her
an
eye open
optometrist.
like an optometrist, and men were coming over and ejaculating, like very careful not to miss any of her eye, and just like coating her eye in semen. And like the whole time, like her eyes welling. She's like, it's trying to shut. Sometimes it'll shut and a little of cum will like go up because of the force of her eyelids closing. She'll pry them back open, you know, before it fuses as cum is one to do. And it was like, man, who's watching this being like, oh yes, I would love to be the one combing in that eye. Like there wasn't even anything sensual in it. There were no tits. It was just cum in the eye. It was very uncomfortable.
Japanese porn is great. I like the ones where the chick is fully dressed, okay, and she's doing like a professional businesswoman's job. She's maybe a news anchor or something. Like she's literally reading the news, and I don't speak Japanese or whatever, but I imagine she's just like, today in Tokyo there was a 3.2 magnitude earthquake, but everything was okay. And right about the time she gets to the word earthquake, some guy just comes over and blasts her in the face. Just comes right on her face, and she doesn't react at all. And there's just a huge load on the right side of her face dripping off. And then she continues, and she's like, "Oh, and in the in Okinawa today there was the Festival of Lights, and they lit all those silly floating balloons, and another guy comes and blasts a load right on her chin, and she's just like, shit. She spits a little of it out, and she does a whole news report taking like 6 loads, and by the end of it, she's just fully covered. Her nice business suit's all dripping with jizz. It's not about being sexy or sensual, like you're
it's
talking
just about
the
degradation, I would think.
No,
right?
it's for me. It's about it's fucking ridiculous and funny. I just think it's hilarious.
That is funny, but you have to think because that is pornography. They're not doing that to be funny.
Yeah.
So what would be the tag that people wanted? Probably like newswoman degradation or something.
Maybe. I don't know. They do all kinds of weird shit. We've talked about it before, but the Invisible Man porn is cool, where like the guy comes in and he's wearing a full white skin tight bodysuit. Remember Green Man from
You linked
Sunny?
me one of these too. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. They're like, it's like chicks in like a Japanese bathhouse. They're all hanging out like mostly naked around like hot water springs indoors, and it's all chicks. And then this dude just walks in wearing a white bodysuit, face covered in everything, but his cock's out. And you're supposed to make believe that he's invisible. And the chicks are like, he just sticks his dick in their mouth. And they're just like, oh, what's in my mouth right now? I don't understand. It's absurd.
Tastes like a dickaroo. Yeah.
Have you heard of the free use subreddit, Kyle?
Yeah, of course I have.
Yeah, Kyle. Usually when Kyle mentions subreddits, I think I've been there for 6 weeks now, but this time it's the opposite. The free use subreddit is all about girls who just let you fuck them, right? Oftentimes they're like studying, and you just come up behind them and start fucking them, or it kind of tied into Kyle's weather reporter thing. And I think it's a fantasy for guys that can't get laid. That this is this other world where they could.
Dude, that's like what so much porn is fantasy for guys who can't get laid. Like, if you are out there, guys listening, and you're frustrated that you can't get laid, the number one thing you got to do is stop looking at porn. Stop looking at porn, because that is giving you the artificial release, pretending that you're getting with a woman, and it's sapping your desire to do it for real. Like, if you can go to the fake thing and get that little bit of pleasure, that cum, where you're not thinking about it for a while, you're never going to get out there and actually go for a real woman. Like, there's that easy peasy little bit of satisfaction right there. So if you're looking for pussy and you've been struggling a lot, stop looking at porn, and your motivation to do it is going to go way up. Suddenly on Friday, you're not going to go, I'll just stay in and beat off and look at porn and, do this and that. It's not even worth going out. No, you'll be like, let's get out and be social and try it. Let's try our best. So there's a little tip for you, folks.
This is a whole
close the
genre.
laptop and hit the gym.
Exactly. And hit the bars, hit whatever fucking, social outing you want to do. Join a club.
It's like a whole genre of this kind of porn. Like let's cue up at 0 and watch a little bit of this, and I'll describe it as best I can.
Okay.
Yeah, Chiz isn't showing it, but we can all watch it.
Yeah, I was confused for a moment.
And although the best part is it's Japanese porn, so they blur everything out.
Yeah, I still can't show it.
But we still can't show it. Yeah. All right, are we all at 0?
Yeah, I'm at 0.
3, 2, 1, play.
Why is the title in English?
She's trying to go about her reporting, and she's wearing like a blazer and a button-up shirt, but underneath the desk she's completely nude, and this guy's hitting her pussy with a Hitachi, and she's having a difficult time staying focused.
And on that news TV to the left of her, it says World News in English.
Yeah.
Oh, now he's using his fingers, doing a little exploring. You can't really tell
exposing
exactly.
The clit.
Is he sticking his finger in there now?
Oh no, he's pulling up on the top of the vagina to get the clitoris exposed for his Hitachi.
I like how he's sitting under the table cross-legged, and they don't even have like a tarp to cover him.
Yeah. Oh, that would be funny if he were hidden. She's having a hard time. By the end of this, like 5 guys have fucked her and came on her face. Like now he's getting her spread eagle, so each of her heels are like up on the news desk. Like she's spread super wide. I will say this about this one: she's enjoying herself at least. And a lot of these Japanese, the idea seems to be that the girl's not enjoying herself.
This is 45 minutes long.
Jump ahead to 7:20.
Yeah, 7:20.
Yeah.
All right, I'm at 7:20. All right, a gentleman's walking in with a pixelated erect penis.
Yep. It only took 8 pixels to cover it.
Guy's showing some Japanese poster.
There's cue cards in there, and I imagine if we were Japanese, they would say, "Fuck this woman."
Yeah. I mean, at least they had the decency to blur his face out.
Yeah.
All right, and now she's being fucked from behind while she's, having her tits scrubbed. But she's giving you the news,
I want to know what she's saying so bad.
Yeah, but to her...
And another terrible tsunami has claimed 100,000 of our brethren. And whatever terrible thing she's saying as she's getting fucked.
All right, that's enough of that. It goes on and on and on. Bookmark.
Yeah, she really is a happy participant in this whole thing. I think. I don't know. I just jumped ahead to 21:30. At 21:30,
she realized she's made a mistake.
Well, I thought she was crying until I realized there's semen streaming down her cheeks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, those aren't tears. Those are 2 loads on each cheek.
Yeah. Crying her milky tears. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, she's enjoying all that. This is a great day for her. And for her and her family. They're watching the news.
They are.
I like to believe
where do you get your news? Well, I go to World News Headline. I only get my news.
I never make it to the weather. Not once. Oh, that's great.
Well, she's a trooper. Do you guys still have Kyle's camera? Is it just me?
Yeah, I've got Kyle's camera.
Okay.
Do you not have my camera?
I don't. I'm sure it's just on my end.
Did you guys see that little snafu that Drake has stumbled in? The hip-hop artist?
I saw him on Pussy Pass Denied because that lady had sued him for sexual assault or had accused him of it, and now he's like suing her.
Oh, I didn't see that, but what I saw is he posted a picture of himself with this 18-year-old girl named Bella Harris, very attractive young woman, and they looked back through Drake's pictures because she had just turned 18, and they found a picture of him kind of leaning on her shoulder, taking a picture together from 2016, which would make her a 16-year-old gal.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's no problem with it. See, this is blown out of proportion. This is bullshit. Because look, there's a picture of them there are pictures like this of me and Woody with underage boys and girls where we are just posing with them. There are just posing with them, having our photograph taken with them, and nothing's going on. It's not like he's got his dick in her mouth while she reads the news here in this photograph. Now, if you tell me he had a relationship with her and that's not legal in his state, then I might have an issue. But she doesn't. First of all, if she's 16 there, she is the most mature 16-year-old on earth. She looks like she's 18 at least. She looks like a model. She's very attractive.
To be honest, I look at her and I think if you told me she was 14 or 22, I'd have bought both.
Yeah, she's got one of those faces where there's a big window of what you'd believe.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, she's wearing a lot of makeup. And but I don't know. She's busty. She's pretty. She's with Drake there.
Yeah, Chiz just posted, in California, it's not illegal to date an underage girl as long as there's no sexual contact between the adult and the underage girl. Which, sure, I'm fine, I guess. But it's do you think that someone how old is Drake, in his 30s? Do you think someone like that is hanging out with a 16-year-old? Because, you know what? She may be 16, but she's got a real perspective on the world. I don't even care about physical stuff. I want to hear she's got like these great takes on politics and world history and
Here's the other side
music.
of it. I think that at 16 you can fuck anyone you want in most states.
Oh, in a lot of states. Chiz, I'm not jumping to conclusions about anything dumb or about him doing anything. I would never say that. I'm saying
you would never say that. It's been 2 days since you've said that.
this hypothetical situation of if he was with a 16-year-old girl, it's probably not good, right?
I don't care.
No? Okay.
I don't care. I mean, if I had a 16-year-old daughter who was hooking up with Drake, I'd be like, you're not still taking those pills that mommy gave you, are you? Lay off those.
You'd be a terrible father.
No, look, she's getting a record deal out of this one way or another, all right? That's how this shit's going to work.
You're banging the guy from Degrassi? Like, nice. The wheelchair kid? Awesome. He rebounded more than anybody ever into his like semi like I don't follow Drake like his music, but I know he's very popular. But I did know who he was in 15 years ago on Degrassi. You know that show, Kyle, right? Degrassi, the Canadian like teen drama show, and he was I believe he was the crippled kid in a wheelchair. No, I'm sure somebody out there watched
We're
Degrassi.
definitely not talking about Malcolm in the Middle, right?
I'm definitely not talking about Malcolm.
Oh, that kid? Is that Drake grown up?
Could be.
Malcolm, you've got
I just wanted to fuck
faster.
a 16-year-old. And now I'm getting hate.
Mad rhymes inside me. Can't get him out. Yeah, that kid was real sad in the show. I liked that he would always use his disability to his advantage, though. Malcolm in the Middle was a great fucking show.
That was a really underrated show.
That happens. Bryan Cranston had those acting chops.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew he could disco roller skate, but I didn't know he could make meth.
He can do whatever he wants.
Speaking of that, there is an Arizona man who pretended to have Down syndrome so that the woman he hired would wipe and bathe him.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And if you look at his face, if that man told me I have Down syndrome, I'd give him the benefit of the doubt. Wouldn't you?
Cheers, can you be sure to share this image? There's a hint of it there, right?
Oh, yeah, there's more than the hint. He's... Like, if he's not full blood, he's at least 30% down.
Yeah, right? His dad had Downs.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
His dad had Downs. His mom was down to fuck. Like,
you're missing a chromosome or you are.
Well, his dad was missing one, but he's missing half of one. That's how it works, Woody. That's Meryl. That's actually Meryl Howard Kalin's son.
Meryl Howard Kalin. So this is how it went. Paul Anthony Menchaca, 31 of Gilbert, Arizona, was arrested on September 6th on fraud and sexual abuse charges. The Gilbert Police Department said Menchaca someone from the Gilbert Police Department posed as a woman named Amy on a caregiver job and saying she needed assistance with her adult son. So he was, this is written badly. Jesus Christ, Fox, what are you doing? So basically, he lied, said he had Down syndrome. Then he posed as a parent of himself and said, my son has Down syndrome and he needs someone to come and wipe his ass and the occasional hand job and do a few things for him. And she showed up and apparently she bathed him over 30 times.
3 women. He hired 3 different caregivers, all women, to care for him at various points in the summer. The first one gave him 30 baths.
You're right. That was only the first one. That was 30 baths. Like what? I would love to see his technique. Like, he's obviously a character actor. Like, this is a Daniel Day-Lewis in the making who just took a wrong path in life.
Yeah.
Like, it takes...
He saw my left foot and he was inspired.
The first caregiver let me get on the mic. The first caregiver became suspicious and followed him home earlier this month and met his parents. She discovered he did not have Down syndrome and did not require diaper changes.
Fuck. You know, look, I'll be honest with you.
Dude, this guy's a fucking asshole.
I didn't realize there were diapers
Hang
involved.
on. I feel sorry for this guy, and let me tell you why.
He's a fraudster.
I'm willing to bet that, like, that's, for whatever reason, that's his fetish. And that's the only way that he can really have sort of sexual pleasure in life. Like if he had a pretty girl who dated him and just had normal sex with him or whatever, that wouldn't do it for him. He might not even be able to like perform in that scenario. There was a guy on Stern. There was like a Stern flashback, and this guy's thing is Roman showers. He needs to be vomited on by a pretty lady. That's what he's into. And they're talking to him about it, and he's like, I wish that this isn't the way I was. He sounded like a pedophile. He's like, I wish I wasn't like this. He's like, when you like women think that it's about degradation, and it's not. I find it sensual and attractive when a woman vomits. Everything about it, the smell, the feeling, the sound, the whole thing. That's what turns me on. And all I can find out there are men who want to vomit on me. And I'm not gay. I don't want that. And so I feel like
he's not a weirdo.
He's like, I feel like
you're clearly a normal man. You know?
He's like, I feel like an anomaly, an outcast, a pariah. He's like I wish I had the money to hire a dominatrix to come and do this for me, but I don't even have that. And they've got a porn star on, Tabitha Stevens, and they're like, Tabitha, could you vomit on him? And she's like, I barely eat anything. And I believe her because she's like skin and bones. And he's like, well, would you spit on him? He's like, I could spit on you. He's like, well, I guess, that, is there an odor to your spit? And she's like, well, I mean, crest?
And it smells like cock. Yeah.
And she goes over and she fucking spits on his chest and he starts rubbing it in and stuff like that.
I remember you showed us this video, and then one of them eventually muscles up some vomit, and he spends the whole time rubbing it. Oh, that was a different vomit.
They've had him on a couple of times. This was actually for a game they did, a contest. Tabitha Stevens, the porn star, came on and she did a couple of games. One of them, they played audio of her porn clips for her mother to listen to over the phone, and she had to guess, is that my daughter or not? And they played audio from various pornos, and some of them were of Tabitha. The mother, of course, has never watched her daughter's movies. Why would you? And she has to guess, yes, that's my daughter moaning. And she's like, you have a humongous cock, or whatever, or just like, glog, 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 glog. And the mom has to guess, like, which is her daughter and which isn't. And then they do that game, wrap it up. Her mom wins $500. And then they do a new game where they put three guys stand behind a wall, stick their dicks through a hole, and she picks which dick she's going to have in her next porno, and she's going to blow this guy. And the first dick was so small he could barely get it through the hole. And she literally asked, does he have testicles? Or, oh yeah, there they are. Okay. Then the second dick is like enormous. It's like 8 inches. And then the third dick, she's like, what's wrong with it? That was the vomit guy. Not only is he the vomit guy, but his penis is odd looking, apparently. Now, the guy with the big cock who she chose, none other than Bigfoot, the semi-retarded whack packer with the beard. And I'm driving when I'm listening to this, and I had to know. Bigfoot Tabitha Stevens blowjob. And there it is. She's blowing him in a bed somewhere, and he can't. And she's like, you like that, baby? And he's like, mm-hmm. I like that, it is. Like, this guy is like a moron.
Looks like Yoda.
No, he's huge. He's a giant. Like, he's like, I don't know exactly, but let's say 6'4", 300 pounds, or 6'5", 300 pounds. Like a mountain
like
of
talks like Yoda. You said like that I do. Mm-hmm.
He adds, it is, onto the end of every one of his sentences.
It is.
He's like, that's good ice cream, it is.
Come
like,
directly into your eye, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, do you think that guy who likes vomit tries to get his dates wasted on, like, when they go out to eat for a totally different reason? Because he wants them to vomit, like, from how much they drank?
They asked him sort of this. They're like, maybe you could go to the chemo clinic and wait outside. Those chicks are always throwing up. And he's like, no, that would be taking advantage of someone who's ill. I don't want that. I want this to be a mutual, pleasurable thing for both of us. And he's like, I felt so sorry for this guy that was his thing. And that he he wasn't a guy who was just like, yeah, I like a chick to spank me. We can all find a chick to spank us, or like, yeah, I want a chick to choke me. Or we can all find a chick to choke us.
Do you think he went down a weird path where, like, you said he had a fucked up dick that didn't work right or something? And so it was like, all right, well, I've got a fucked up dick, so I can't like normal things because no woman will want me. And so I'm going to go to this thing. And then the extreme of whatever that thing one wasn't enough. Oh, now I'm going to dress like a mascot and fuck people in furry outfits. That wasn't enough. And he eventually gets down that hole right before shit occurs where vomit is. And that's where he is now.
Yeah, they asked him about shit. He was not into that. Yes, a brown shower. I'm not into that. No. That's
was he like taking umbrage with the fact that they'd bring it up like, sir, I am not into shit play. I am into vomit play.
He was a good sport about it. The way he came off was pitiful. He came off as pitiful, and that's what I took from it. I was pitying him because he sounded so genuine. He didn't sound like a dirty old man. Like, yeah, this is what I like. He was just more like, this is the only thing I like. If I'm going to have a sex life, this is how it has to be. I have no other choice, and I have no outlet to secure this fantasy of mine other than coming on the Stern Show and hoping that you can find a lady to vomit on me. And I'm pretty sure like that's about the only way it ever happens is when Howard finds some degenerate who really needs $500 to throw up on this guy.
I mean,
would you throw up on him if he asked you to?
For $500?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I don't even have to touch the guy, right?
He's laying on his back naked, and you got to give him like 3 good yaks, we'll call them, and progressively after each time you vomit on him, he gets more aroused, more erect, and more animated with the way he's rubbing the vomit onto his body.
But I don't have to touch him at any point. I'm vomiting from a safe distance.
You're standing right over him.
Do I get to choose what I eat?
Yes.
Then yes, I would do this for even less than $500.
Are you busy? This could take all night or something. Like you have to vomit on him 3 times, and you have to play.
I had 5 candy apples and 2 chili dogs. Get ready for a mess.
Yeah, like you just eat things that are really easy to vomit, like a lot of yogurt, a lot of milk, a lot of sugary candies, because like he'll be sticky for a long time, or he'd probably like that.
Yeah, he'd love it.
Yeah, why love it? Why don't you want him to like it, Taylor?
Or eat all of the same thing. Like, have you ever eaten all of the same thing and then vomited? Where it's like, man, yes. I can't believe I ate. Like, this is something that you do when you're a kid, like on Halloween, where you eat so many. Because I was a barterer, and I would trade anything I had for a Reese's peanut butter cup, you know. And so I'd like post up on my corner afterward and like, sir, you look like $100,000 lover. I've got a couple here for you. You got a Reese's? And they come over there, and I'd make your peddling, and then I'd go home and like eat some, and then like mom would take them and be like, that's all for today. And I'd be like, that's what you think. And then go to bed, fake falling asleep, come out, eat a ton, and then you vomit, and it's all chocolate and peanut butter, like 100% of it. I'd want to do that, where it's 100% of something terrible. What's the worst? What would I drink to make it really bad? Like nothing but sauerkraut?
Milk.
Nothing but like milk, nothing. I'm trying to think of the most unpleasant
thing. You're not
thing.
looking for repeat customers
Pickle
in this,
juice.
Taylor?
Pickle juice.
Ooh, pickle juice would get me to vomit pretty quick because drink that much vinegar and it's coming back up.
Yeah, man. It's going to be acidic.
No, not with the Woody. No. Actually, Taylor, wrong. You know,
that's Woody's favorite beverage. Jackie saves the pickle jars for Woody.
I tried kombucha, which is like a vinegary tasting drink, which I kind of compared to like the vinegariness of pickle juice, and I tried it and I thought I would hate it. It's actually pretty good. I can see why people like drinking vinegary things. Like it's a weird little kick, little flavor.
I like pickle juice, but just a little. Like I like, maybe there's some on the sandwich bread, a little spritz there, something like that. It's tasty.
You like to dip your fingers in the pickle juice and sprinkle it on your sandwich.
Yeah, or maybe I just grab the pickle out and I sort of like dab the pickle all over it, use it like a pickle juice brush.
Ah, smart, industrious.
It's really gross sticking your fingers in there. Somebody else might want a fucking pickle.
So what is this you've linked, Woody? It looks like a conundrum of sorts. We have to think.
Yeah, it's the trolley thing. Chiz, if you're able to share it, that would be awesome. But here's the deal. If you're looking at this picture.
Oh, I've heard of this, yeah.
Yeah, there's a trolley, and it is en route to kill 5 people. It's going to go straight down that track. You are standing there by the switch. You have the choice to either throw the switch and murder somebody, or do nothing and let nature take its course, which is to murder 5 people.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that they're all black. So
in this image, even you're black, Kyle. The one next to the.
Yeah, that's what's confusing. That's what's confusing. Why am I black?
What are these people doing on the? Are they like hanging out on the railroad?
They're tied to the track. Yeah, they're tied to the track.
Some mustachioed villain has tied them down.
Mm-hmm.
And so.
Yeah.
Do I know anything about these guys? Do I know like what they do for a living?
It's 1 versus 5, and the trick is, do you intentionally kill the one, which you're directly responsible, Or, do you just let the other 5 go, but it's not something you did?
Well, I don't know, because there'd be a bit of, what if there's a civil suit afterwards by that lone fellow over there on the one track? Maybe I yell to him, and I'm like, are your parents wealthy? And if not, ka-chink. Of course you pull the lever. Of course you pull the lever. I think everyone would understand, And if anybody gave you flack, you could be like, I thought it was the stop lever. I'm not a fucking train engineer. I was just passing by. You think I know these tracks work?
You might be culpable for it if you pull it and you kill that other. Like, what you might have to do is let it murder the 5 there, the train, and then you might just go have to put the end of that guy on your own, because they've all seen you.
Kill them all.
If they live, they're going to tell you, hey, yeah, that's the guy that could have saved us or done something. And
just for a second, which one's the moral answer here? Do you intentionally choose the guy dies or not? Or let the 5 go?
I think the moral answer, I don't see it as murdering one person. I would see it as saving 5.
Okay. All right. Just a little twist on it that people sometimes do. You're on the trolley. There is no switch in this case, but you're set to run over 5 people. Do you take one guy who's on the trolley with you and throw him in front of the trolley to stop it?
Yes. Sure.
No.
Do I know this man?
No, of course not. No, you can't take a man who was in complete safety and throw him into harm.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't be like, we gotta save those people.
You look huge.
Well, but there's an obvious parallel.
You mean one guy didn't stop this barreling trolley? Well, now I've got 6 bodies on my hand.
The normal way that is phrased is it's the fat man like conundrum. And I was like, you guys are totally going to kill the fat man. I can't describe him as such because you don't value their lives. But yeah.
They don't value their own lives.
The parallel, of course, is, you wrestle that guy off the trolley, throw him in front of it. It's the same act, really, as throwing the switch and killing 1 instead of 5.
In one, yeah, in a way it is, but in one, they're already in danger. Like, at some point, another train's going to come by and smush Mr. Lonesome over there. Like, this isn't the only train.
I don't have my pocket knife or a multi-tool or something. No, I pull the switch every single time. Like, there's 5 people. If I see 5 people about to get mushed, then, like, I probably won't even know. I'm going to pull the switch.
You know what I would do? I would tweet a quick Twitter poll and see what people thought.
And then while you're there arguing with Hutch, all 5 of them are smushed. All life is sacred.
All right, well, I fucked that one up, guys. Sorry.
Except for abortion. Are they fetuses on the track? Because then it's okay.
Are they little fetuses? Little helpless fetuses? Little babies? Yeah, no, I think that in all seriousness, I think the moral answer, I don't even think it's a rhetorical game. I think that by pulling the switch, you're literally saving 5 lives.
Okay.
There's no option there where no one dies. And so your only option, I would think, is pick the least damage, right?
Across a broader spectrum, on the first part, whether you throw the switch or not, opinions are divided. A lot of people think that, it's an active murder versus, 5
just
people
watching a horrific thing. Yeah.
Exactly. But very few people choose to wrestle someone off the train and throw them in front, even though numbers wise, that's the same as throwing the switch.
Yeah,
sure.
There's just something about throwing someone off of a train into the path of it that's so first of all, I'm trying to picture how I'm like, and a 1 and a 2.
The whole while they're like, no!
When you throw someone into the path of it, that's awful. Changing the path to kill someone, that's the moral choice.
Yeah.
Murderous train engineer decides 5 isn't enough. Just throw someone in front of the train. Yeah. The moral answer is pulling the switch, killing the 1. I think.
Jesus saying that guy was safe, but the guy was safe until you threw the switch. True, too. Like, I don't see that as a differentiator. It's just
he was also tied to some railroad tracks. Like maybe he's a bad guy, right? Maybe some superhero came by and he was like, "I'll show you, evildoer," and he tied him to the track. We don't know.
Yeah, that trolley go over there's a good guy. I'll make out alive. I can't throw that fat guy right in front of the trolley.
Superheroes are known to tie bad guys to train tracks and wait for trolleys to come along.
The most moral answer has to be to throw yourself onto the tracks.
Yes. Do you do that? No one.
No.
0% chance.
I don't care.
Change that 5. Change that 5 to 500 and 1 to 100, and no.
You could change that 5 to every human being that ever existed, and no. I'm not throwing myself. You know how painful getting ran over by a fucking train is?
I bet it's not that bad in the way of dying.
It depends how it hits you, Taylor. What if you get mushed at a weird angle?
Right area, like your neck's right on the rail.
You can't do that. You've got to jam yourself in there as broadly and as awkwardly as possible because you're trying to stop a train. If you just put your neck on the tracks, it's just clip and it goes and kills the other 5. You have to go like fingers first, lengthwise, and like really try to jam this bitch up.
I think you need to be like a cannonball, right? And just try and wedge yourself in front of the wheel.
Then you're grinding down like a ball underneath, becoming smaller and smaller as it.
Have you seen that clip of, I think it was somewhere in China, Japan, I don't know, where a guy fell into the subway thing, and as it's going by, like he's trying to get out, but the distance between where the platform is and where the subway is actually going by is so small that like it grabs him and it like rolls him like you would like a half-empty toothpaste tube, where like if the bottom was like totally twisted, and it's just the dude just spinning like a top as his body.
The subway's next to a platform.
Yeah.
And as he's trapped between the subway and the platform, and he kind of Yeah. That was a creepy one to see. Was it Japan?
It was somewhere in Asia, I think.
Because that would make my sushi roll imagery ideal.
Yeah.
Put some rice around that dude. You got a thing going on.
All right. So before we jump to the next thing, Kyle, do you have anything you'd like to tell us all about?
Yeah, I could probably do that for you guys. Well, how am I going to tell you about it, Taylor, when you step away? Take a little tinkle. If you're carrying revolving debt, that means you're not paying off your card every month and could be paying thousands in interest every year that you don't have to. With Lending Club, you can consolidate your debt or pay off credit cards with one fixed monthly payment. Since 2007, Lending Club has helped millions of people regain control of their finances with affordable, fixed-rate personal loans. No trips to the bank, no high-interest credit cards. Just go to lendingclub.com and tell them about yourself and how much you want to borrow. Pick the terms that are right for you, and if you're approved, your loan is automatically deposited into your bank account in as little as a few days. Lending Club is the #1 peer-to-peer lending platform with over $35 billion in loans issued. Go to lendingclub.com/PKA and check your rate in minutes so you can borrow up to $40,000. That's lendingclub.com/PKA. All loans made by WebBank member FDIC, equal housing insured. Link down below. Those credit cards consolidated. That is definitely the way to do that.
I've got one variation to the trolley thing, or maybe a couple, that I'm curious. So, same situation, Woody. Those 5 people are all shit, that doesn't work because you'd want them to die. Damn it. I was gonna say
5 bad people versus 1 good one.
Yeah, they're 5. You know they're pedophiles, but you don't think they've ever offended, right? And the other guy is a normal guy.
Pedophiles.
Yes, they all are wearing. They're coming from their NAMBLA meeting, but they're also wearing hats that say "Never penetrate." Like they're very passionate about that when it comes to children, and or at least they'll have you believe that. You don't know, but there are 5 self-ascribed pedophiles that say, "Oh, but I would never offend." And then the other guy is just normal, average Joe. You know, Joe Sixpack. What do you do?
I think you kill the bad guys.
The bad guys, Kyle.
Let it roll.
Let
it roll. I think in that scenario, I guess I don't like pedophiles very much, and I'm a little worried about the culpability that might come along with pulling that switch, regardless of who's on the tracks. So I think
if we imagine that trolley is stopped, and that if I pull that lever, it'll get it going, and there are 5 potential pedophiles there, I'm gonna get it kicked off. Right?
There was a 3rd track where it was just going to go along its way.
Yes. No, but at the end of this pedophile track, it falls off into the ocean. Is it worth sacrificing the people in that trolley to kill the pedophiles?
What kind of people are on this trolley?
Oh, scum.
I mean, the kind of people who take public transportation, obviously. So
yeah,
fuck them.
Yeah, and it's in like a.
Are we in San Francisco?
No, we're in like one of those Indian cities with like 1 billion people.
Oh,
and so nobody's even going to know.
No, nobody's going to know. They've got 3 or 4 cousins that look identical. Yeah. Well, you haven't
There's a
rid
huge
India
rape problem there.
pedophiles.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
I have a Patreon question.
Yes.
This one I was curious about. Taylor and Woody, have you guys considered joining an adult hockey league or just going to rat hockey? Taylor, what's rat hockey? I don't think, is that just pickup hockey?
I would assume so. I've never heard rat hockey before. I guess that just means pickup. Pickup's always more fun than anything else, I think, just because it's more shooting the shit, like casual. But I mean, Woody's played a lot more men's league than me, so I don't have the
I hadn't thought of that. To me, pickup, I want the other people to be trying, right? It's usually just 5 forwards against 5 other forwards.
Yeah, no defense, and the goalie hates it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just, a pickup score for an hour-long game might be like 27-22, but you never really know because no one kept it. And you just know how many you scored. And I just find it unsatisfying. Whereas league play, people are really, like, that's their best hockey. It's not high-level hockey, but it's the best that they have. Yeah. And so for me, I prefer league play. I actually called 2 weeks ago to get back into it. And I called. The guy didn't know anything. I wrote. The guy didn't write back. And that's where it stands right now. But they didn't have the schedule. If people don't know, men's beer league hockey has the worst hours of any sport anywhere. I don't know why they rank at the bottom of everything in terms of priority, but
because of ice time. Ice
so
time's so expensive.
That still doesn't satisfy me. Why we rank at the bottom? Why is it that like some random fucking figure skaters getting 11 a.m. or something, and men's ice hockey is 2 a.m. It's awful.
That was bullshit. When we'd have like even in like real teams, like it'd be like, all right, we got 4:45 a.m. practice, boys. See you bright and early. You got to be there at 4:15 for like going through drills and shit. Which is a goalie, you're like, oh woohoo, yeah, like I can go get there early for drills. Like you can go through your plays. Yeah.
And then when you're done practicing, a single figure skater shows up in her little tutu and gets better ice time than you. I don't know why. Yes, I've been there. For whatever. The point is, I need to know the ice time. I can't just sign up for a league because twice a week I do this, and I don't want a conflict.
Yeah, I would love a Patreon level that made Kyle join a men's league. A good one. Or the best you can make.
You just have to pay me $3,000 a month. That's what it would take.
It takes $36,000 a year to get Kyle to join a men's league hockey team.
Yeah.
I would love that because I know that you wouldn't. You'd be like, "This is so dumb." You'd go to like Play It Against Sports and you'd get like 1982 elbow pads.
Oh, absolutely
and, like,
not.
Shitty
No.
guards.
You don't know me. No. Oh, fuck no. I'd go hire someone to teach me how to play fucking hockey. First, I'd have to learn to skate, of course.
I like to think Kyle would pick out goalie pads and play forward, but be safe.
I would, and I might like depending on like the wording of the deal, I might join like a kids hockey league, right? Like where everybody's like 55, 75 pounds or something like that. And of course they're faster and more agile, but if I ever get my hands on them,
they're not.
But you've got the strength.
I did that, right?
You beat up the children?
No, I've told the story before, though. Forgive the repeat story, everyone. I'm doing my best. But, I played roller hockey, and I wanted to get into ice hockey, and I could skate a little, but whatever. I saw lessons advertised, and that's all I saw, like learn to play hockey. So I signed up, and I showed up, and it was packed. It was in Pennsylvania, so, there's a lot of active players and stuff. There were maybe 85 people in that class, right? So it's the whole ice is just covered, and I'm the only grown-up. I'm the only one. It's me and 84 10-year-olds. And
were you uncomfortable?
I was like, fuck it, I'm going through with this. I paid for it, and I really want to learn to play hockey. And the coaches were totally down with me. It's not like we were learning to check or anything. It was just like positioning and skating and drills and puck handling and stuff about keeping your stick on the ice and what have you, like making you a disciplined player. My wife was in the stands. This is my favorite part. She's with the parents in the stands, but she's my wife. She's not my parent. And she's like...
Which one's yours? Yeah.
He said, that one's mine. There I am. I'm 6 foot tall, 6'4" on skates. And with all these kids.
I would love if
they're like, what's
coaches,
wrong with him?
Yeah. I would love if the coaches of that like used you as the idol, like totally unironically, where they're like, "All right, skate," and they go like, "All right, kids, I want you to take a look at what Matt's doing out here." You may say, "But he's an adult. But he's 37." No excuses made. You play like Matt. Can I hear it from you? Play like Matt. You exactly. Get out there and do it, Matt. You're doing great, buddy. Like it's like
here,
the guy's like 24 years old, like slapping you on the ass. Yeah,
get Matt a Go-Gurt.
At the very end,
Matt's mom did not bring orange slices, unfortunately.
So at the very end, we started like doing like little pickup, like live drills and stuff, you know, where it wasn't just, you know, you and one other guy. Like we're playing sort of games, and I see like the goal. I've got the puck. I see the goal. It's me and a bunch of 10-year-olds. My eyes light up because, you know, I'm not a big scorer or anything. I'm brand new to hockey. And I take a slap shot. And
in the learn to play.
Not all the goalies babies eat out.
There are so many people on the ice that it's hard not to hit one. And it's low. It's a low shot, but it is off the ice. It's flat, it's fast, it's hard, and it's like 4 inches off the ground. And I hit some child in the skate. And he picks it up. He skates briefly on one foot and falls down.
Oh, no. Wait. Was he on your team or the other team?
No, he was on the other team.
Well, fucking hell yeah. All right, man down.
Signed up for this. But he didn't sign up for a 27-year-old.
Stop. What Matt just did there, practice like you play. Perfect, Matt. You know?
I just imagine the coach going, power play, go.
Yeah. And like no one said or did anything, and I just pretended like it could have been any one of us that shot that.
You get on your knees to blend in.
Yeah, I'm just like, I didn't know what to do. I'm sweating right now thinking about it. I was so nervous. Like,
that's so fucking. That is. I don't remember you telling that. That's fucking hilarious that you were out there. You know, it's like a Mighty Ducks scene where like they're showing the team, and then they get to the guy they found in an alley taking knuckle pucks at like limo doors, and like the screen goes up to like capture his face. Like that. That's it.
Yeah, I really did that.
Those poor goalies were terrified every time you got close to them.
Most of the time, there weren't goalies. They put a bench in front of the net. But there was sometimes.
I know we already talked about Connor and everything, but I just saw this news. I guess he just signed an 8-fight deal, and part of it is that in every fight that he fights in, his whiskey will be on the canvas as a major sponsor. So might want to buy a little stock in Connor's liquor company.
I bet he's making a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing in this is he's almost more invested in the whiskey thing than he is the fighting. Well, not more, but yeah, he's heavily invested in it. It's a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. That's his moneymaker. The UFC's like, we can't afford to give you any more cash, but we've got ad space, and it seemed like a perfect fit, I guess. That's awesome. Really fun.
I wonder if it'll be on this one.
Yeah.
It will be, you say?
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Well, I like that. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
We
got to
Taylor. I don't think we answered the question. Have you considered joining an adult hockey league?
I've thought about it before. Like, I just get tired of all my friends who play being like, "Yeah, we really need a goalie. We need a goalie on our team." And it's like, so you don't want me to be like a really bad forward on your team? Like, no. And it's like, well, but I don't want to go play forward with a bunch of terrible people who I don't know. But
That's what I want.
I don't want to play goalie with a bunch of people that I do know and probably be decent at it. Like my flexibility is shit now, but I still got the reaction time and everything. Like those shots in men's league are so slow. My dad used to play men's league, and when they wouldn't have a goalie for one of the teams, he would have me come out and play. And at that time, he was probably, late 30s, early 40s. So I was like 12 or some shit. And I would play in the men's league as a goalie, and like it was easier than my good 12-year-old teams at the time. Where I went in oh fuck, level? It's gonna be so hard.
ABC.
My dad was pretty good. It was probably A. There was this one dude who was like a prick who would come in and try. I stopped him once, stonewalled him, and it's pretty embarrassing to get stonewalled by a 12-year-old. He's as tall as the fucking pillar there or whatever. And so that guy made it his mission to score on me the rest of the night. And when he did eventually, was smarmy about it. That's right. And it's yeah, I don't even know what to say because I'm 12 and you appear to be in your mid to late 30s. Like, is that your girlfriend up there? She's fat.
Way fatter than the 12-year-olds I go to school with who haven't hit puberty.
Yeah. I would consider doing it.
Yeah, it's funny because you're like, I don't want to play with a bunch of bad people I don't know. Oh, that's what I'm looking for. I was never great at hockey. Don't let me kid any of the listeners. At my best, I was a below average A player, or I was a MVP in the B League, right? So it was not good, but not awful. I bet now I belong in the C League, because I'm older, and but I might be above average at C.
You'd work your way back up to B fast, I would imagine. Like you're in good shape now.
But I'm literally 45. Like, I don't remember many 45-year-olds being good.
But Taylor, remember, I'm literally 45. Like, the 7,000 jokes aside, I am 45 years old. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying that as a big, that's an old flipping number. Like that's it's the other.
Hey, that's the age Yager retired. You're fine.
That's the thing about aging I was thinking about yesterday. Like, when you're in your 20s, it's, even though you know that technically you're getting older and not better, you can look at your athletic peers, the people who are your age, and be like, yeah, like basketball players have their best years ever at 29. That's when they're peaking. And then they're like 33, and all of a sudden it's like, it's quite the miracle that Taylor's still playing at all. You're like, what the hell? He just, the second half of that bell curve isn't symmetrical.
Yeah.
And but at 45, Jesus Christ, you're did Chelios play this late? How old did he play? 47.
He played around there. Yeah, he played for a long fucking time.
But, yeah.
If you're people of comparison are like, Chelios and Yager did it, they're only two of the best NHLers of all time.
Right.
I can do it.
Yeah. And anyway, so they yeah, I just can't imagine that I'd be as fast. I used to be fast. I wasn't a very good stick handler, but I was usually one of the faster guys on the ice. And now I imagine I'm still not a very good stick handler and not fast.
So you've lost that edge. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, going on too long about this, perhaps.
I've got something that made me laugh. A Maryland man has been arrested for walking his wife with dementia around on a leash at the Pennsylvania Fair.
All right. So was the leash attached to a body harness or a collar?
It was a collar. Wilford tugged the leash, which caused his wife's head to snap back and left red marks on her throat, the witness added, according to paper citing documents. The 66-year-old told police that his wife, Catherine Wilford, suffered from advanced stage dementia and that he decided to use a leash to keep track of her as she wandered off for more than an hour at the fair last year. So, if he had used a body leash,
God damn it,
that would have been fine, right?
I don't know. I mean,
body leash is fine.
Would he rather him not walk his dementia wife, not take her out for a walkie, show her a good time?
He cleaned the poop up.
Yeah. I mean, he was like, you go for a walkie? You want to go for a walkie? His wife gets so excited. She starts jumping around, maybe piddle a little. He takes her to the fair. This is really
it's not
her
like she
best day.
She didn't bite anybody else's wife.
She's excited that she just got that much attention during that day, right?
Yeah.
And they're all knocking him. It's asshole society. Yeah.
Settle down, honey. Settle down. We'll make it over there. I'll come back.
Yeah, jerk on the collar a little bit because she got too excited. Maybe she piddled herself and he was housebreaking her.
Little kids are coming up to feed her and he's like, palms flat, palms flat.
They're putting coins in that 25-cent little shit nugget rabbit shit looking things you feed to people. Yeah, that would be hilarious to do. I think it would be funny if if it was like a choke collar or a shock collar or something even more extreme than that. Because I don't know if you guys, maybe I'm desensitized to the leash thing because I was a leash kid, at least at one point, because I would run around at malls and hide until they closed. And
is this new information? You were a leash child?
Only briefly. So there was my mom used to take me to the mall when I was little. Well, it started off with a wrist leash. like right on my wrist.
Yeah.
That lasted all of one outing until I waited for like my mom to get distracted at like Black House White Market or something, and then I found a way out of the leash and ran away. And so then it was a body harness leash, and I couldn't escape that one until I figured out how to unhook it. And then once you figure out how to unhook it, then I'd run through like Macy's, and I'd hear my mom or grandma be like, my grandma like usually run like, Taylor, now you come out right now. You're not going to be in trouble. You come out right now. And I'd be like in like the middle of those clothes racks. Like,
yes, I was going to ask about the middle of the clothes racks. That's what I'd do in the mall.
Oh,
like when
yeah,
I was shopping, and I'd get in the middle of the clothes rack with a Game Boy and be chilling in there. And I, time would pass, and she's looking for me, right? Like they're about to call out an Amber Alert. They're about to lock this bitch down. Yeah. Those were great for kids.
So that's pre-leash. So you were hiding in the clothes racks or just getting away. So they leashed you. They put you on a wrist leash, and it was just Velcro or something. So you just undid it easily.
Got out.
And then you got into a body leash, and you couldn't figure out how to get off the body leash.
I'd have to check with my mom. I think at one point I figured out how to get out of the body leash, but the leashing thing didn't last that long because after a while it was like, Taylor, if you want toys, you can't run and hide. And I'm like, message received. I will be right here until our Toys R Us trip. That's right. You have to bribe me with toys.
Someday I want to call Mrs. Durka on speaker and see if she'll tell the leash story.
Oh, that'd be funny. Yeah, the leash thing. What else was this guy supposed to do other than get a body leash? Like that's appropriate, is it not? Like if she wanted to wait for an hour,
size.
They might not. Yeah.
Do they have adult body leashes? But they have
use
collars.
The dog body leash. Just put it on her.
Then she'd have to walk on all fours.
That's true. I mean, you dress her like a dog with like one of those like Santa outfits that only goes on her arms.
She's got a bow tie.
A bow tie. Yeah. I think that this guy was mostly trying to be responsible. His mug shot doesn't make him look better.
No, he looks like he's having a rough fucking time. He's having a rough day.
Just try to walk your wife and you're in the station in the clink.
She's I don't know if you're doing it already, but can you share this mugshot, this guy? He looks annoyed, I think.
You think?
What are you getting out of this facial expression?
I'm getting pure hatred and contempt for the system.
Vitriol. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. He's like, I'm going to put her in a fucking shot collar when I get back home. I'll show him.
Kennel up, honey. Kennel up.
Oh. Kennel up.
He throws like a zucchini in there that she might like. She nibbles on it.
Just raw vegetables. She's got one of those water things, that sticks out, and she has to suckle on it.
She has to lick the ball so it goes
Guess
up.
what, honey? It's white wine night. And she dumps
That's great. I just realized that I'm in a state with legal marijuana. Well, I realized I was driving around and there were like billboards for cannabis. And I was like, dude, but I need like a tour guide for this. Like I don't smoke. I really don't know what I'm doing. Like, but I bet the dispensaries are tour guides themselves, or at least
you can just go to the dispensary and ask for a pre-rolled joint, and they'll just hand you a marijuana cigarette that's already wrapped up, and then it's self-explanatory from there.
Yeah, well, lead with it like, hey, I'm new. What would you recommend to a very new person who doesn't want to get too high or feel uncomfortable? And they'll hook you up.
Because I'm like, a joint. Is a joint a one-person thing? If you told me it was, I'd believe it. If you told me no, that's to be passed among 8 people, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's how they did it on that 70s show.
Yeah, you'd probably like take one good puff and hold it in, and then lick your fingers and pinch that joint out and put it away.
For the flight home.
No.
No, just so you don't get really, really high. Like, so you stay at a good level. And like, you don't even have to smoke. They have like sodas and all sorts of crazy shit there.
How long does it last? Like, if I did it at dinner. So people don't know I'm here doing this like aerobatics lesson to fly my paraglider in more ridiculous ways. I would want to be 100% normal tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a problem. You'd be 100% normal in 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like alcohol where it's like, okay, well, I'm drunk and I'm going to be drunk for a hot second here. Like, it's not going away. Like, it's going to fade way quicker than that.
Yeah.
Shiz says 1 to 3 hours if you smoke, 2 to infinity if you eat. Infinity's an option.
Yeah.
So it'll start at 2, And if it's bad, you know you've got a ways to go. It'll feel like infinity.
That's the problem, because as someone who doesn't smoke, edibles seem like the nice way to get into this. Like if I were to describe the progression as you would expect, it'd be first you start with edibles, then smoking, then wax, and then, I don't know, injectable marijuana or something.
No, suppositories. That's when you're really getting crazy.
Okay, yeah. But it turns out that, one, edibles are just wacky in their dosages. Here's a gummy bear. Eat one of the ears off of it. That makes no sense to somebody like me. And
I think in a lot of the places they've like regulated it now, so like every edible is the same strength virtually, unless you're a medical patient. But like if you're like a recreational patient or recreational user, I should say, I think that like all the edibles in most states are like all like 10 milligrams or something like that, which is like a beginner kind of dose. But yeah, you should go in there and just get yourself a joint. It'll cost like $20 or something like that. It won't be crazy, and then you're good. And that way, if you smoke it, you hate it, you don't feel bad about throwing it the fuck away.
Mm.
And you could probably even smoke in that hotel room. I was going to mention that. Looks like you're in a nice hotel room. There's a fucking headboard, folks.
It's the cheapest one I could find. I just
in San Francisco, it was probably $300 a night or something, though.
So I flew into San Francisco. This is actually Napa Valley. It's closer to the lake I'm going to, and it was the cheapest one, but the cheapest one that had Wi-Fi.
There was an option without Wi-Fi.
I don't even yeah. And I also looked at a bunch of Airbnbs. That was going to be my move, right? I wanted to try these Airbnbs. It seems like everyone gets better things, but there was no in between. I could either rent a whole house, which is way more than I need or wanted to pay, or I had like some kid's bedroom, with
never do that.
Powder Puff Girl posters on the walls and shit like that. And I was like, no, because I'm going to be doing this show. I didn't want to be noisy and disruptive in someone's home.
Never share. You remember that time I went to LA to do that fucking movie, and the first place they stuck me up at, I was sharing a fucking apartment with some dude, and he was like, yeah, well, at first he was like, well, there's the computer over there, and I was like, holy shit, that's a gaming PC right here in the living room. All right, they did me right. I'm gonna get on and play some fucking games tonight. I wonder if it's got a nice GPU. And he's like, and there's the kitchen. I'm like, that ain't bad. And then your bedroom's over here, and I'm like, cool. And that's my bedroom right there. And I was like, what? What? And then I get in the bedroom, my bedroom, and there's like not the power outlets don't work with my electronics. They don't have the third prong, so like I can't even plug shit in. I'm on the phone. I'm like, tell them to get me the fuck out of here, or I'm getting on a goddamn plane right now. I'll go back to the airport and I'll get on a fucking plane to fucking Alabama or something and rent a car. I'm coming fucking home if they don't get me the fuck out of it. I was steaming mad.
Yeah, I don't, in a different situation, I don't think it'd bother me as much, but I didn't want to bother them. That was the other side of it. Like,
sure,
they look like a family's house.
It was. That's often what it is. And like sometimes they'll be deceptive. There are these fucking cunts on like Airbnb, VRBO. Most of them are owned by the same company now. There's a brand called HomeAway, I think, that owns a lot of the companies, and they've consolidated a lot of the listings. But they'll lie to you. And you have to really read the fine print. We saw this place not too long ago, and it was like, whatever, $300 a night. But it's like a 5-bedroom house, 2 stories, nice views of whatever, like lots of amenities. But then there's this little thing there that's like no shoes in the house and no strong smelling foods, no curry. And I was like, how are they going to know if we fucking order some Indian food, right? I'm ordering fucking curry the first night. I got a hankering for some curry. And then like you find out these bitches are living upstairs. And they just didn't list it. They didn't fucking list it. Yeah, they're going to smell the curry. Oh, we didn't go. We got to the bottom of it beforehand and dodged that bullet. But yeah, never share.
You don't want a roommate.
No, don't want a fucking roommate. I don't want to worry about like when you're staying with someone or you're visiting someone at their home, like, you're not completely relaxed. You want to make sure you don't leave any shit stains on the bowl. You want to make sure that when you spit out your toothpaste in the morning that maybe you like rinse it off the sides. You're like looking for a towel, like it's like when you go camping, like leave only footprints, right? Or whatever. You're trying to do that number and not be a bad guest. But if it's just you there, you're pissing in the sinks You're
You go to the sink? What if it's nighttime?
well, just right there in your piss jug, man. Whatever.
Oh, I figured, if it's a queen size or bigger, you don't even have to get out of bed. There's the other side.
Just flip the mattress when you leave. No big deal.
Oh, you're much more courteous than me.
I've probably rented a dozen or more like VRBOs or Airbnbs, and I've always really enjoyed it. I like being in like a strange house and discovering all the intricacies, like figuring out how the AC works or how like looking through their linen closet, going to the extra rooms and like looking at the game boards they have and stuff like that, and looking for their sex toys they might have left behind or whatever, doing weird shit with them. Just having a good time while I'm there.
Snoop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, why wouldn't you snoop? They let you into their home. It's your right to snoop. You're paying for snooping.
I was in a place not too long ago, and it wasn't until like the third night I was there that I realized there's like a camera right there in the living room, and I'm like, didn't I jerk off in here like the second night? I'm pretty sure they watched me jerk off in here the second night I was here.
Honey, something's happening on the camera. Camera 2. No, he clearly sees it and he's still going. Yeah.
I just
I hope he doesn't find the bathroom one. Yeah. No, I hid it under the lid. Jesus. No.
I put a fucking throw pillow over that thing right immediately. I feel like the damage was already done though. They gave me 5 stars.
A Kyle question.
Yeah.
If you would have gone to post-secondary school, he's talking about college, if you had to go, what would you major in?
If I had to make the decision now or as like a child?
Ooh. A child being 18?
As a child, I was, as an 18-year-old, I had this weird idea because I was a huge sports fan, like mostly college football, but college baseball as well. And I was thinking of ways to like get close to those players and like be part of that without being an athlete. And I thought maybe like a professional massage therapist, the guy who comes in and like works out on your hammy or whatever. And I honestly considered that for a little bit because I looked, basically. And I was kind of interested in that for a while. And I even talked to my dad about it. And he was like, yeah, I think those guys make good money. And I was like, and I was thinking of all the ancillary perks to that job. Like, I bet I get good tickets. I bet like if you ever get into professional sports, where you're dealing with like a professional team, then you're really getting good tickets, and maybe you're getting to befriend some of these multi-millionaire sports stars, and you're also making a pretty a good living. So I was kind of interested in doing that. I really was. Like I considered that for a while.
Yeah, you might like it. My the guy that fixes my leg and my knee and my orthopedic surgeon he did that for, I think, the Packers, and I know he did it for the Hurricanes and some other. He didn't like to travel. He traveled. Maybe it was all playoffs he traveled, and then of course every home game, and it just became too much for his schedule.
Yeah, see, that would be a bonus for me. I would love the travel. So that was something that really appealed to me, and there was something else about it that I thought was cool. Oh yeah, and maybe you end up on the girls' gymnastics team, right? What a good ladies in there.
Exactly.
And
yes.
I bet he's not doing well in prison.
You know what's good for a swollen ankle? A clit massage.
That guy.
So you had 2 answers. Like one, what did I want to do at 18?
Oh yeah. Now I think it would be interesting to do something that would complement like what we're doing here. Like maybe a degree in broadcasting would be helpful, right? Maybe something in like engineering, like not like engineering like building a bridge or designing a watch, but like audio engineering or something like that. Some sort of professional audio video thing, right?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
If I was like, oh yeah, we just need this $600 device and 5 cables and like there's going to be a 0 lag sort of perfect studio audio scenario that we can accomplish. Like if I understood how to do that, or maybe there's some programs or some mixing software that it would be interesting to have something that sort of complemented what we're doing here.
You'd either learn like helpful things, or you just come out with like that stupid journalism voice and all your topics would be like, this dog saved his family from a house fire. What his owner says will shock you. Coming up next.
On the audio thing, I thought listeners might care. Part of the reason it's been better is an attitude change in me. I used to be nervous to make any adjustments, and I'd see that it didn't look quite right, but I was afraid that whatever change I made would make it worse. Now, if I don't like it, I'll dial it in. Like I think it was 1 or 2 PKNs ago, I noticed I was quiet. And I was like, oh, let's just fix this on the spot instead of worried that I'll make it even worse. But it's been better,
Yeah.
I think.
Taylor, I was telling you before the show, but I'll reiterate. So Chiz and I have been playing Monopoly. Okay, there's this like $6 Monopoly game it's like Rento or something. Rento Monopoly. It's like a Parker Brothers ripoff, and it's a mobile game. You could even play on your phone, but we play on desktop computers. Every single game we play, not every night we play, every game we play devolves into petty name call and rage.
Well, it is Monopoly. I'm not surprised.
They get furious.
Who's they?
The Chiz and I stay pretty level-headed. All right. So there's skill to Monopoly, and the skill is in the deal making, art of the deal. So we're rolling dice, so you don't have a lot of control over like where you land, right, or what properties you end up with. But then there comes a time where you have to say, all right, I'll give you my brown and 2 trains and $500 for your blue. You have to make these deals and come up with good deals and convince people to take them. And that's where the skill comes in. And Chiz is very good at it. Chiz has won 80% of the games.
Nice, Chiz.
And that's shocking considering there are 4 of us playing at any given time.
Are you the other 20?
I've only won 3. I've only won 3 or so. Like I've had some rough luck, to be completely honest. But I still enjoy the game, whether I win or lose, because the other 2 guys that we're playing with, whether it's MIDI or Urban or a class above, they get fucking mad. There's name call. There's like nationalistic arguments, but U.S. versus Canada or something like that. There's just insults flying around. Cruel insults. It's a fucking blast. That's
what the whole fun of Monopoly is. If you said, we're just having a fun, chill Monopoly night, I wouldn't be interested at all. But knowing that you guys are getting upset and yelling makes me want to play. And it's only $6.
Is it a 4-player cap?
Yeah, no, you can go up to like 8 probably. But of course, the more anything above 4 gets a little weird. But you can definitely do 5 or 6, and 5 wouldn't be too bad. 5 would be fine.
Yeah, but that probably takes forever, right?
Not as long as you think. Like people get whittled down, and whenever you bankrupt, your properties, of course, unlock, and now the remaining 4 players can grab them up as they roll around the board.
How long are these games taking you? Like
sometimes they only take 20 minutes. Sometimes they take more like 40, but they're never taking like an hour or anything.
That's quick. That's not what I was thinking.
Well, it's quicker because it's all automated, right? Like it moves the space for you.
Oh yeah.
It rolls the dice. You click to roll dice, and they go brrr, boop. And nobody's dropping dice, nobody's counting money, nobody's looking at cards. Like, oh yeah, I've got that property. The rent is where's the rent? Like nobody's doing math. Mm-hmm. Nobody's putting those little houses on the board that are so light that if you touch them, they shoot across the room. The game does everything for you.
That really helps it. I'm just thinking about some people and how long it takes them to count to 11 is outrageous.
Yeah. 1, 2, and people when you'll be on turn 55, and it's like, if you don't know at this point that if you roll a 10 and you're right here and you jump to that spot because that's just you know what I mean? Like you don't have to go 1, 2, 3,
you
10.
say?
They knock your houses off with their game piece, walking it down the board, and now you don't remember where the houses were.
The count cheating makes me crazy. Like, all right, I got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was 4. What? I can't count. What? Fuck you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's like
shit like that. Like you touched the same spot twice, or you skipped a spot. We're all watching.
There's a lot of cheatery in Monopoly.
Monopoly in particular, yeah, and also Monopoly has a lot of rules, so it gets tricky. I don't know. All of a sudden, one guy's taking out a mortgage from the bank to buy a property, and everyone else is like, "What? Wait." Mortgages. Now we have to track this, and the poor banker's got a much bigger job than he used to, and there's loans, and then if a property is mortgage, I don't know if you build the same. There's a lot of rules. So
if it's mortgage, you can't build, and you can't mortgage it until you sell the houses off of it. But of course, all that's very simplified with the app, with the game. So yeah, Taylor, you should come play. And I think we're gonna do like a PK plays thing with some guy coming up, and I think that's a perfect game to use
that too. It's not on his list, but I hope that he would like it. Yeah.
Somebody will get good and mad. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'd also make it go faster, not having to deal with house rules in Monopoly because
Yep.
everybody who owns Monopoly is like, well, here we play that you can't trade property deeds, or like, oh, here we play, yes, you can definitely trade property. Like, there's always that kind of shit.
Some people
that
do
you
a
have to
thing
deal
where
with.
if you all of the money that gets paid in from like
free parking, yeah.
free parking, yeah, all of the money that you get fined by like the community chest or chance or whatever goes into the center, and then if you land on free parking, you get that money. That's not an option. Should be though. But it'll be fun, and like maybe you guys don't want to, but maybe Chiz and I might if the other guys are down. I think it'd be fun if we put a little real money in the game. Like maybe everybody throws $5 in the pot before each round or each game or something like that. That'd really add to the fury and fire. It's dude, it's so much fun to see them freak the fuck out. They're like, this is a stupid fucking game.
Have you freaked out yet at all?
The only time, like, I won't get mad, but I'll get like upset because there are some like RNG things in the game. There's a wheel space, and if you land on the space, then a random number generation.
Thanks.
So there's like a wheel space that you can land on the board, and when that happens, you spin like a Wheel of Fortune style board, like, and on that board there are things like plus 500 or plus 2 houses or minus 2 houses or mortgage one of your properties or gain a free property, and one of them says equal 1,000, which means that no matter how much money you have, now you have 1,000. So if you've got $80, you're aiming for 1,000. You really want it. I had $3,200 last night, and I rolled equals 1,000. It's a $2,200 fine.
Were you a little upset?
I lost the game. I lost the fucking game
because of that.
Because of that alone. Yeah.
There comes a point in that game where money's hardly a problem. Like you could give it all away. It doesn't matter. I have all the income production on this board that I could need. It's just going to pour into me. But I guess you weren't there.
No, that hasn't ever happened in our games because it's something about like the computer doing everything means that there's always at least one other person who also has a monopoly and has houses and stuff. So like you might gain 1,000 this turn, but you might lose 800 next turn. So you're really staying neck and neck. One person always shoots ahead, but they'll shoot ahead. They'll have like 3,000. Everybody else will have 800 or 1,200 or something like that. It won't get too out of hand. Chiz has gotten pretty out of hand before. He had like $4,500 last night, and we were all like just wanting to quit basically because he was so far ahead. But yeah. Have
you guys seen any of those clips of weathermen way overreacting to the storm?
Yeah.
I saw one.
Was it the wind one or the old Anderson Cooper one? Where like, because the old Anderson Cooper one, like what the photo is him like up to like in his waders up to his waist standing in water, and then there's the cameraman standing up with his feet filming him, and then behind him you can see two people like walking through shallow water.
The Anderson Cooper one, have you seen the video?
I don't know if I've seen the direct video of it. No.
He comes out looking pretty good in the video. So what happened is Donald Trump Jr. tweeted that Anderson Cooper was standing in a hole to make his dad look bad for Hurricane Florence. That isn't true. That's actually
an old clip, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 10 years ago. It's from Hurricane Matthew, I think. And it might have been Ike. I don't know. But and then if you watch the video, he's like, it's actually really shallow up there, but we're staying off the road. It's deeper over here. Be careful because there's deep spots and there's shallow spots, and we stood here. And, look, I get that it's stupid to stand in the water. Like, it just is. But they're making TV, and he did explain that his camera crew was on the road in 6 inches of water.
That one was very, like, it's silly to see. It made me laugh. I didn't really care about, like, the reason behind it because it was older. This one I just linked now is from Florence, and there is no coming back in the way you explained for this one.
I agree.
Have you seen this one, Kyle?
I have not seen it. No.
All right, let's queue up. It's very, very short.
About the Anderson Cooper thing, I thought that Anderson, he proved himself right, but I still think he was being trolled. Right? Like I feel like Donald Trump Jr. trolled him, I
feel like you have to be inclined to believe that the Trumps are playing 3D chess.
I don't think it's 3D chess exactly. I just think he was. I think he's just trolling him. He just saying that's a classic troll, right? It's like when people say, "Hey, Wings, is that a picture of your father on the wall behind you?" They know it's not a picture of his father behind him. They're not playing 3D chess. They're playing annoy the guy on camera. And I feel like they nailed it. Anderson was clearly annoyed. Like he did a whole segment of defending himself.
He did a whole segment on it? Okay, well then if that was a troll, it worked.
Yeah, if that was a troll, it worked. If Trump Jr. is a retard who fell for a conspiracy, because I think he retweeted it or something, then
I didn't even read
he's the
tweet.
idiot. I can't tell which one's the idiot, really.
Yeah, I heard him do it live the night of it or whatever. It was very funny.
Are you guys ready to watch this video?
Yeah.
Chiz, are you ready? All right, I'll call it out. 3, 2, 1, play.
Now responding to reports that
the audio really isn't that important in this.
Faking it during his coverage of Hurricane Florence.
Probably seen the video on Facebook.
This lady's pretty.
Reporter struggles to keep his balance.
Yeah.
Her eyes are a little close
Okay,
together. Now there's a guy struggling against the wind, just barely standing up here.
He's backpedaling. Look at these.
There's two people casually walking in shorts behind him.
If I was to use just his stance, I don't know if the wind's coming left or right.
Yeah, it's not coming much at all.
He's just made up. He looks like a video game character on the waiting screen. He's going back and forth.
I'm not picking that one.
No, I'm not picking this character. Sensitive to wind guy.
The spokesperson goes on to say,
why is it harder to keep your footing on wet grass? He's not moving. He's not pivoting. It's like he's playing soccer.
Is that an excuse there? Did someone put that?
That's what the audio was saying.
Yeah,
it's important to note that the people in the background were walking on concrete while the reporter was standing on wet grass.
And he was much closer to the hurricane, which means
my conservative friends on Facebook are all proving, like, using this as an example of how the media lies to you. Like,
this is the Weather Channel.
I know. They're like, if they'll lie about this, they'll lie about anything. That's literally a Facebook post.
That's what is so dumb about all that. Is like people who latch onto the dumb shit where it's like, no, there's like a lot of good lies you can point to, but they're like, no, I'm gonna go with the one of the guy pretending it's windier.
Yeah, dude, there's no defending that guy. He was pretending it was windy. Fuck, don't be an ass. I don't know.
You really don't appear quite the ass.
Yeah, when you've got Trump out there saying fake news every day, the last thing you want to do is make some fake news for some cheap ratings, and prove him right, give him ammunition.
Did you see Avenatti? What's the Storm Daniels lawyer's name? Avenatti?
Yeah, that sounds right. I don't know what his first name is.
It's close to that. And Tucker Carlson argue?
No.
Oh, it was pretty good. So I'm not a fan of Tucker Carlson. I don't think he has any commitment to the truth, but I do admire how good he's debating, right? He's outstanding at it. And Avenatti is also really good at it. So there was this like clash of the titans as the two of them worked to argue with each other. And if you just like the theater of all this stuff like I sometimes do, you should check it out. It's about 8 minutes long, I think. And, they're not just arguing the points. They're doing the whole debate technique gamut, trying to lay down like facts before they make their points when the facts are even in question. They're trying to the tone, the language that they use, the interruptions and the pre-rules so Tucker Carlson's been calling him creepy porn lawyer for ages. Right. And one of the rules going into it was that he couldn't call him creepy porn lawyer on the show. So the entire fucking time, the lower third says creepy porn lawyer on it.
That's hilarious. Like on the Chiron.
Yeah, the Chiron. Yeah. It says creepy porn lawyer on it. But
that's hilarious.
Avenatti's defense, he's like, you keep calling me the creepy porn lawyer, right? And he's like, but the president of the United States had unprotected sex with a porn star while his 4-month-old was at home. Do you call him the creepy porn president? Tucker didn't answer it. So he got to ask that question in like 3 different ways and keep laying it out there. Do you call him the creepy porn president? He had unprotected sex while his 4-month-old child was at home with his wife with a porn
meanwhile,
star.
Every viewer is like, no, we actually think it's kind of cool that he fucked porn stars. Like every time that's one funny thing. Is like they'll hammer on the porn star thing, and it doesn't lower his ratings. Like that's one. There's a lot of things to do, but the porn star stuff doesn't. Everybody already knew this. For it.
But like in terms of just watching the theater and debate technique, Tucker made a mistake, I think, because he got to repeat that point 3 times and call him that. And I listened to it and I was like, creepy porn president is just as fair as creepy porn lawyer, right? He fucked her with no condom. That.
What a
I
man.
don't really think fucking her makes him creepy,
Well,
right? I don't think that defending her makes that lawyer creepy either. But
right. But he's just trying to draw the parallel there. Anyway, if you like watching these debates at all, if you hate it, if you look at it and say, "Oh my God, I can't stand food fights as news," then you won't like it.
I like watching debates and shit, but I cannot watch mainstream media news debates where it's like, all right, for the next 4 minutes, we got 7 people and we're going to go. All right, Mr. Stevenson up there, what do you got? That's enough time for you. All right, what do you got over there? All right, now that the end of the 4 minutes, nobody's made a point. No, nothing's been forwarded. We'll see after the break. All right, now watch 5 antidepressant commercials in a row.
Ana Navarro versus whatever that chubby dude is who always represents the Republicans on CNN. If I see those two go at it, I end the video. I mean, they're always worthless. They're always terrible. They're not particularly well versed on the topics. They're just stand-ins. Anyway,
it's like the worst way for debate to occur is like the soundbite debates that like people are fed through mainstream media. It's like that's absolutely the worst way to debate, because all you do is get the top little layer of soil of whatever you're discussing. You don't get down into anything, and everybody leaves going, "I knew I was right. I knew I was right. See, he said the thing that I already knew, and that's how I could tell that I was right."
Yeah.
It's like, come on, it's got to be more in depth to be interesting.
I thought Elon Musk is definitely doing a thing, right? He's sending people to the moon and back.
Wait, this is totally new to me.
So he's sending this Japanese billionaire and this spacecraft around the moon and back to Earth on like a tourist thing.
But he's not touching the moon.
No, they're not landing. They're going around the moon and back. And I think the craft has like a dozen seats in it or something like that. But I don't know how many people are actually going. It's quite a few seats. Initially, there was this plan to do like this like really this much smaller craft, but it required you to have piloting skills. But so you had to find that one Air Force pilot that won the lottery and send him up, I guess.
I've got two questions.
Yeah.
Is Elon going, and would you go?
Elon's not going.
Uh-huh.
And I had a nightmare about 10 days ago that I was and this is before the Elon announcement, but I dreamed that I was in a spacecraft doing something very similar. And the claustrophobia and the terror that I experienced in that dream, I woke up and I felt a little sick. I was like, I'm glad I can walk 3 steps. And I'm glad I'm just not in a tin can with 9 millimeters of aluminum between me and the vacuum of fucking space and doom and death and a horrible. Yeah, I don't think I would. I not that. Like, I think if you offered to take me to the space station and hang out there for a week, I would do that. I feel like not only do you have like room to like move around, and not a ton, but a lot more than some sort of capsule. But also, like, it seems safer to me. People have been up there in that thing for years and years, and Earth is pretty close, and there's escape things that you just get in and push a button and they return you to Earth. But if you're out there,
I didn't know that.
But if you're out there to like 100,000 kilometers from Earth or whatever, you're on your own. There's no rescue ship.
Are you sure there's escape pods that will take you back?
Yeah, there's Soyuz capsules.
Okay, and Chiz agrees with you. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Didn't I see Gravity? Oh, I didn't realize it was a documentary. Now I know.
I saw Sandra Bullock do it. It's a fact.
Yeah, fair enough.
Kyle, have you seen the TV show Banshee?
No.
Let
me see what this is about. Banshee TV show. It's probably garbage. Banshee TV series. It's an American action TV show created by Jonathan Tropper and David is on Cinemax. It's set in a small town, Amish country. The main character is an enigmatic ex-con who assumes the identity of the town's murdered sheriff to hide from powerful crime lord. Imposing his own brand of justice, he attempts to reconcile with his former lover. This doesn't sound fun to me, I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm pretty picky about what I watch.
You're college-aged right now. More Patreon questions. You want to get your first car, what do you get? I'm getting a Jeep. I'm getting a Jeep because Jeeps, I think, are really fucking cool. And there'll never be another time in your life when you can be that fucking stupid to buy yourself a Jeep. Afterwards, you're going to have a kid. You're going to actually have money to go somewhere and take a 7-hour drive. No, the Jeep is a local-only, childless person's car.
You're going to get so much shit.
Oh?
So much shit?
So much
I don't
shit.
care about his take. My dad has gone from Jeep to Jeep to Jeep over and over. He loves those like Grand Cherokee Limited or whatever things. And I always tell him like, why don't you? He bought like a BMW 7 Series like 4 years ago, like a new one, and he was like, I decided I'm not doing the Jeep anymore. I said, you know what? I'm gonna treat myself to something. And he drove that 7 Series for 2 weeks before he was like, you know what? I really don't like this. I'm going back to my Jeep. And so he went back to a Jeep Grand Cherokee over a BMW 7.
That's
the
shocking.
Grand Cherokee is a nice SUV. I was really talking about the Wrangler Jeeps.
Oh yeah, those are neat, but you're right. Like you don't want to be like, all right,
You're
put the kid
telling
in there.
me-
Let me put my Velcro window up.
You're telling me this guy he drove a $90,000 car for a few months and he was like, nah, I really like
2
those
weeks.
those
Not
knobby
even a few.
tires.
I was probably being hyperbolic with 2 weeks. It was probably a month. Like it was clear he didn't like it that much. He'd gotten so used to like sitting higher. He was like, I just don't like this. Like I want an SUV and I like my Jeep, and I realized through getting this, that's fine for me.
Wow.
So he went back to the Jeep. So there
No
you go.
Range Rover action, huh?
For
No.
most of my life, whenever I rented a car, it was better than my car at home, so it was kind of a treat. And now I have this Ford F-150, but it's a Platinum, so it's like a luxury half-ton truck. And I have a Toyota Corolla outside. It's not nice. It's really jittery. It's super loud inside. It doesn't drive itself. I'm really missing my truck. It doesn't go fast, or when you do go fast, it feels like it's a struggle.
Yeah.
You don't like
shaky.
all the highway noise of like hearing the.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you can't listen to anything like on a reasonable volume in those little cars because the highway noise is so loud.
It's scary compared to my like land yacht that I'm used to doing things. I was working on my phone, like getting the Bluetooth connected and not looking at the road, of course. And it didn't like stay in the lane on its own. I just got used to that. So yeah, anyway, get a Jeep. I think they're fun. I think they're stupid, and it's a good time in your life to be stupid.
Yeah, that's the time to do it. I mean, I agree. A Jeep would be a fun car. The Wranglers are really cool until you get to be like mid-20s, and then it's like you gotta probably get something a little more practical.
Get a Honda Accord. I'd get a Honda Accord, and I prefer the nicest one I could get, obviously. So maybe like a 2-year-old Honda Accord. I think those things look really nice, especially if they've got like the nice wheels and nice leather interior and everything. It rides well. It has plenty of power. You got 4 seats. It's economical. If you're a college student, especially, I feel like you're gonna get a lot of shit if you're driving a fucking SUV at college. I feel like you're gonna be a real baby killing anti-environmentalist. You want to open yourself up
like
to
that.
you want to open yourself up
That's
to
what
all
Fox
the,
News says college is like.
that's what it's like in San Francisco. You go outside right now. There are people hate criming some guy in a Jeep Grand Cherokee around the sidewalk right now. They've got him bent over.
Before you can turn the ignition, there's a professor with a mask and a bike lock and a sock to smash your window and cave your head in and then get probation.
I was renting my car, and there was this person there, giant boobs, clearly a guy, and it wasn't like, could it? No, it was like a older Italian dude who was just a guy, and I'm like, oh well, I am in San Francisco, so like, be cool, and I'm cool. Like he's not hurting anyone. He seemed really nice, but there was some confusion because you know how they have
Was
those.
he dressed up like a woman, or was he like just a man with big tits?
He had a sweater on, big tits, yeah, makeup, and a woman's haircut. But, like, you know how there's like a spectrum of how well they pull off woman. This guy was in the bottom 5% of how well he pulled that off.
Ooh, that's not a fun
She
place.
pulled that off. I don't mean to insult. I really have
Don't
no
forge
problem.
ahead. Who cares?
Yeah. So anyway, you know the line they make you like go back and forth with the little like velvet dividers or whatever.
Mhm.
But one wasn't in place, and I was like, should I close this? Because people were acting like the last third of the line was optional because it was undone. So I started to close it and then second guess myself. And bottom line is, she, I guess I'll say, like ended up closing it behind me, and I was like, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to do it or not. And in what seemed like a first day attempt at trying to be a woman, he's like, I think it was supposed to be. And I was like, what? You're not good at this? You're bad?
Did you consider it was meant to be this way?
I don't know. It's just a new experience for me. I'm from North Carolina. You never see this in Raleigh. It doesn't happen. So I was like a fish out of water with it. But nice person, it seemed. But not
something you're used to. Yeah.
There's a show on Netflix. God, I can't. I've been searching for it the last 30 seconds, and I'm about to give up. That's the amount of effort I've put into this. But there's a transsexual character, and it's played by a cisgender man. And if you've ever seen on Family Guy when Quagmire's dad becomes a woman and looks nothing like a woman. No, it's a white man, Chiz. That's what this transsexual looks like because, of course, it's just played by a man. I'm talking about he's got like the chin dimple and a big square chin, but like makeup and shoulder length hair and a dress. It was a little.
This person from today, I wanted to get this out, looked a lot like Robin Williams in that movie, Mrs. Doubtfire. He looked a lot like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, I'm thinking about getting my cock off. Oh, yeah, he that's gotta suck when like you get the big tits and you're like, not even close. Like you probably in your head imagined it to be like way more, but really people are like, oh, that's clearly not a biological woman. Like,
yeah.
I mean, oh well.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I don't see that very much here. But like when you see someone like a trans person who like isn't passing at all, like there's a feeling of like, oh, like I always wonder, like, do they think that they're passing, or do they probably know better than anyone? Like, I'm not right now. I would imagine because like people. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I'm going through my own, like, I wanted a selfie with her. I wanted a selfie. I just wanted to be like, check out me and this person. And I was like, yeah, there's no way that's not incredibly rude. There's like, that has to be really mean. It'd probably be hurtful.
Sir.
it might be something that syncs with him for the next couple weeks. Like, like he's so much of an outlier that I took a picture with him or her like they were a tourist attraction. So I obviously didn't do that.
That's good. Yeah, you wouldn't want to make him feel like a freak or anything.
Yeah, but
Kyle.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that to happen.
No, Kyle, God forbid. I wouldn't want that.
I missed something. Did you write something?
No, I said you wouldn't want him to feel like a freak, and Kyle laughed, and I said, yeah, God forbid. Like,
okay.
You wouldn't want to make him feel feel different.
Yeah, I saw 3% of young people now identify as a different gender than they were born as, or as the opposite gender they were born as, or a completely different gender. 3%.
A completely different one?
Yeah, like
I identify as a. What's an example of a third one?
Oh God, there's a whole list of them. You know there are.
Okay, let's look up a list of genders.
List of genders.
Yeah, I can't come up with an example either, but I know there's dozens of them.
Now this one looks unbiased. It's called ageofshitlords.com. Complete list of Tumblr genders. Let's see. You've got agender, having no gender at all, which makes sense. And if you don't think that makes sense, you're a bigot. Ambonic, identifying as both man and woman, yet neither at the same time. Really, you can't make up your mind. Like that's like if you really haven't decided yet.
There's one where they switch back and forth.
Yeah. This is like such a long list. I'm gonna go to like one of the actual Tumblr posts.
Non-binary. You could be agender, bigender, polygender, gender apathetic, neutrois.
What gender are you?
Demigender, gray gender,
so often
or
I
a gender.
start to understand gender, right? Like it really is a hard thing that I struggle with, right? Because growing up, gender meant boy or girl, right? That's what it always was for me. And now sex means boy or girl. Gender has to do with how you emotionally identify, right? So sex is a different thing than gender. Gender is a social construct now. So then I still can hardly fathom what choices there could be as outside boy or girl. The boy or girl, or switching to boy and girl. And then outside of that, I lack the imagination to really get the other genders.
That's what confuses me, is they'll be like, well, gender is more of a set of behaviors and such. It's not the ingrained sex. And it's like, well, then if that's all that it is, why are you taking measures to make yourself look like a traditional female or a traditional male? Like, if those are all just social contracts in the first place, wouldn't you be just as male as a male, remaining the same way you are, just with your different internal identity? Like, that's what confuses me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like why the change if the true difference is only what's inside you, you know?
I don't care. You can do whatever the fuck you want, wear what you want, be what you want. Don't make me use some sort of made up word for you, but you know, other than that, all good.
Kyle, there's 58 options according to ABC News for Facebook users. You got agender, you got androgyne, you got androgynous, bigender, cisgender, cis female, cis male, cis man, cis woman, cisgender female, all that again. And then at the bottom, they have neither, neutrosis, intersex, pangender. They have a whole thing of trans, male, female, man, woman, person. And then they also have transsexual, male, female, person. And then two-spirit. So I guess transsexual and transgender are different in some way.
Care. I just don't care. Tell me what your name is, and that's what I'm going to call you.
Yeah, that's much easier.
Yeah, I don't think like it's never been an issue for me. Like I don't need you to call me sir. You know, I don't know, or Mister. You can just call me Kyle. You know, that'll keep things very simple.
And there's a certain parallel fairness to that I look for, right? Yeah. Whenever like gender appropriation, I think, would it be okay if you dressed up as me for Halloween? Yes. All right. Well, then I'm not giving a shit.
You mean
if
cultural
I dress up
appropriation?
Did I say it wrong? I think I did.
You said gender appropriation, which
thank you.
I guess could probably be you know, if you dress up as a woman, maybe someone could give you shit for that, I suppose. But
I identify as feudal gender, which means that my pronouns are your grace, your highness, majesty, things like that. If you don't refer to me in these things, I get incredibly upset. I'm feudal gender.
The Duke of St. Louis.
Also called medieval sexual.
Okay. Okay.
A little different.
I like this.
If they get to pick one, why can't I pick one?
Yeah, pick the best one. Like you picked it. I might be that.
It's like, what are you thinking, Taylor? It's like, what are thou thinking? I think is what you meant.
They keep getting better. I had a debate with my daughter once where I told her I identified as an Apache attack helicopter, and she just kept asking me questions and respectfully obeyed all the things I asked for her until I gave up. It was terrible. I lost.
Tolerant to a fault. You were just like, all right, so you do want to be referred to as, what was that? The B200 XY model? Okay, I'll write that down. Like,
He's like, what's
just wait till your birthday, honey. You know what you're gonna get? Some diesel.
Yeah, right. What's the worst injury you've ever seen in person? Another Patreon level question.
We've done this one before. The worst one that Woody's ever seen is, of course, that guy whose femoral artery was cut.
Yeah, we did do this.
And the worst one I've ever seen.
Shucks.
Yeah, we've done this one.
I delete them after I tell them.
No worries. Yeah, I'm sure it's a popular question.
I know we've got to get to some advertisements real quick, but afterward, how about we jump into Chiz's sexual assault game?
Ooh, I like that.
I would like game every night.
I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah.
All right.
Chiz said he'd be right back.
Oh no.
So the rules. I'll read the rules of this sexual assault game. All Chiz did was link us this PNG image to tell us what the rules are. And the rules are using only the image, name, and bio. Determine the information on the sexual assault victim and the crime they committed. How scoring works. You get the victim's age, you get a point. Or the victim's sex, rather, you get a point. Victim's age, you get 3 points. Crime committed specifically. Like, we're not going to go super specific. I would imagine, like, rape or, groping or something like that. You get 5 points.
Yourself.
Most of these sex offenders are in nearby neighborhoods by Woody, with a few reigning from the St. Louis area. Enjoy. So as soon as he gets back, we'll see.
Oh, I see. I think that we are going to. These aren't going to be famous sex offenders. I bet these are going to be.
Oh no, these are my neighbors.
We're just getting an image, and then we have to make these assumptions based on nothing more than the image, name, and bio.
I thought he was going to show us like a picture of Louis C.K. or something like that, and we were going to have to figure that out. That's even funnier that these are just random sex offenders. Cool.
These are the people I call friends.
All right, hit us with number one as soon as you're ready, Chiz. I've got my sex offender radar on. In the neighborhood I live, it's ringing loudly.
Rufus!
Rufus! I haven't seen that fucker in a while. Could be dead. Nah, Rufus will come back. He's like Mac's dog, Poppins. He'll always find his way.
Says this is what you guys do best, judging on appearance alone. All right, bring it. Give us a link or something.
Having to look beyond appearance is like takes forever.
Don't scroll past
this link. I see. Okay.
All right, only scrolling down to numero uno.
Okay, so this is Ronald Hunter. He's an African-American gentleman, looks to be about 50. He's wearing a nice necklace there, 3 of them, in fact. He's 5'9", 160 pounds. And what is he in for? What do you think?
All right. Now, he's wearing a bead necklace, a couple of necklaces. Now, I've found that men who wear even one necklace sometimes have something up, but he has a lot. A lot of necklaces. So I'm going to say that Ronald Hunter is, I'm not going to say pedophile. I don't think he's a pedo.
I don't either.
I think that he sexually assaulted someone. So like a sexual battery, but not necessarily a rape.
He raped. This is a raper.
This is a raper.
Yeah, this man has some inferiority issues. This man's 5'9", 160 pounds.
Okay, I'm going to say Mr. Ronald Hunter put his mouth and fingers in orifices in which they were not welcome.
How old were the victims? And what the sex were the victims?
The victim is female, and she was 23.
All right. I think the victim was... Oh, I'm trying so hard. I think the victim was 45, female, and it was attempted rape.
I think he raped a 35-year-old woman.
How old was she?
35.
Oh, 35-year-old woman. What is that? Why do I think he's missing a thing? But I can't imagine what it is.
Rape, woman, 35.
You win. My bad. Chiz? Drum roll, please.
He said that he digitally penetrated a lady, I believe.
Digitally or orally did something inappropriate.
Oh, no.
Damn it! Oh, we were all so wrong.
We were all so wrong.
The victim age is 14. The victim's sex is male. And the crime is indecent liberty minor. Or indecent liberty with a minor, I guess. Further explanation, willfully commits or attempts to commit any lewd or lascivious act upon or with the body or any part or member of the body of any child of either sex under the age of 16 years. So, Mr. Ronald Hunter, I hope you are still in prison. And you likely are.
Oh, my God. I just scrolled to number 2.
No,
I can't.
Wait,
did any of us get any aspect of that right, or did we miss 100% across the board?
I feel like Taylor gets a point for. Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I got a point.
Yeah, for being closest to the age, I suppose. Yeah. All right.
Wow.
Well, we did terribly there. We did terribly there.
This just shows that if one of us was doing really, really well. Actually, if one of us does really well, we could go into like a Dexter-style occupation where we can see inside the mind of the sexually depraved and like only murder the bad ones.
Well, maybe
I
we
can't
met
wait
him.
to get to the next person.
All right, let's scroll to number 2. This is Sean.
He's 300
Morton.
pounds.
He is the captain of the HMS Black Star.
Okay, so this man has an eye patch. His name is Sean Morton. He's black, male, 6'2", 300 pounds. Age at the time of offense, 19. And, he has dead eyes. He has dead eye. Yeah, he's got a dead eye that is looking right through you. No feeling behind that. So I bet what he did is pretty fucked. This guy's got no spirit behind those eyes. So I'm saying this gentleman, the sex of his victim was female. The age of his victim, if he was 19, I'm going to say 14. Or no, 15. And what he did was he raped her. Like a full-on rape.
Okay. Taylor almost completely mirrored what I was going to say, except that I think it's statutory rape and he was dating this girl.
Yeah, I don't know about. Okay.
Interesting. I like that.
I think that this guy, I don't imagine him doing something with someone older. So I'm led to believe that this was an underage person. For whatever reason, maybe I'm silly. He has the ears pierced, both of them.
Ooh, keen eye. It's a dude.
I feel like
no, but the right ear is the gay one.
Get out of here. There is no gay ear.
First of all, any ear is gay.
What are you, 12?
Second, both ears are double gay. These are the rules, Taylor.
Doesn't Wolf have his ears pierced?
I
haven't kept up.
The more holes you have in your ears, the more you like cock. It even works for girls.
Yes, that's true. You see one of those girls with like the around the whole ear. You're like, all right, this girl likes her holes filled.
I'm going to diversify a little bit. Now, my first inclination is to literally agree with Taylor 100%. I think it's a 15-year-old girl that he raped. I'm just going to go with that. I think he raped a 15-year-old girl. That's just what's in my heart.
I'm talking all this trash about it. She just reminds me he's my neighbor.
Yeah, he lives right next to Woody. Don't worry. No. He's been put away.
A suburb near me. I don't know where he lives. All right, Chiz, I think are we ready for the unveiling?
I think it's shocking, is what he says. Which means
no!
Oh! Sean, okay, we were all wrong. Mr. Sean Ryan Morton, his victim was 3. It was a male victim, sexual battery. And that explanation is second-degree sexual offense, a victim who is mentally disabled, mentally incapacitated, or physically helpless, and the person performing the act knows or should reasonably know that the other person is mentally disabled, mentally incapacitated, or physically helpless. God. So none of us got even... We thought, look at how good we are. We assumed the best in this man. And we are.
We thought that he just, maybe this was a Drake situation.
That's what I thought. I literally thought he just had a girlfriend that was too young.
He's a good-looking guy if he had both eyes.
I can't believe he fucked a...
No, but he obeyed the rule. Divide your age in half and then divide again by 7.
That's not how that rule goes.
Oh, fuck. You must... Yeah.
A mentally disabled 3-year-old? Could he not?
Well, no. The 3-year-old wasn't mentally disabled.
Could have been.
Well, it could have been, but it almost certainly wasn't. What are the fucking odds? Physically helpless, I think, is the thing to key in on here. As a 3-year-old would be against a 300-pound man.
Yeah,
all
totally.
3-year-olds are stupid.
I wonder what he did. I hope he didn't fuck the 3-year-old.
I hope that kid took the eye with his sharp little baby thumbnail.
Maybe that's what he did. Maybe his fetish is he wanted his eye socket penetrated by a 3-year-old, and we're like, that's not so bad.
Yeah,
I don't think that's what it was.
If he put a 3-year-old's foot in his eye socket, what if that's the thing? What if he's missing that eye, and his crime was literally having the 3-year-old fist his eye socket? How do you feel about him now?
Not a fan.
I'm gonna have to say I don't care.
Well, not a fan. You're not gonna bring him to fucking teeter-totter school or anything like that. You're not gonna let him teach your kid.
I will say this: it's much better than what I'm assuming, because I don't think that he had a little kid fist fuck his eye hole.
I think he blew a 3-year-old or like.
I can't pick up the sarcasm in text. Chiz, did he really lose his eye in the incident?
No. No, he was a one-eyed asshole before this.
All right.
He tried a 14-year-old, took his eye, and he realized he has to go younger. So hopefully this guy spends his entire life in prison, having what happens to all sorts of child molesters.
All right.
We are awful at this.
Yeah, we're terrible.
Does anybody get a point, Chiz? No one.
I have 1 point because I was closest in age from 24 to 14.
I scrolled ahead. I like the next guy.
I meant the previous
we all said
question.
15, so nobody gets anything. Oh, Randy Hooker. Good God. He fucked the kid. He fucked the kid. Sure.
See, Randy Hooker is wearing what looks like a Mr. Rogers style sweater, which makes me believe that he was trying to lull his victims into a false sense of security. And so I think they were very young. Age at the time of the offense is 27, and he's like 55 now, and he's still in prison, which means this had to be some serious shit. So I'm thinking that he genuinely raped a 7-year-old girl, because they've all been boys so far, and we are due.
Oh, these guys are all on the loose, Chiz says. That's why this is from the sex offender registry. That's why we have their picture, because they're out and about.
Oh.
Near Woody.
And a couple near me, unfortunately.
I hope this guy raped a 45-year-old man. To death.
Randy Leon Hooker convicted of raping a 45-year-old local man while he was riding his fucking motorcycle.
I think
as he was scrubbing down his fleet of lawnmowers, he leapt from the horse stable and he took him right there on that 6-cylinder, John Deere.
Oh, God, I don't know what he did. I'm trying to imagine a 27-year-old version of him and then judge him. And I really don't think what sweater he's wearing today is relevant.
I didn't know the rules. Okay, well, then I need to change. I'll let someone else go first, so I'm not stealing what you guys think.
He was 27. He used to be a little more suave than he is right now. He's still got an asymmetric face, so he wasn't really crushing it with the ladies. I'm going to say he raped a 24-year-old woman that he wish he could have gotten otherwise.
24-year-old rape of a woman. Okay.
I'm sensing a trend of pedophilia here. This guy fucked like an 8-year-old boy. I'm going with that. I'm saying he like I won't say fucked because rape doesn't seem like what they've going with here. I'm going to say he sexually assaulted a 8-year-old boy.
It's so broad. What do you do to him?
I'm going to say I'm noticing a pattern of increased extremism with Chiz's list here. And so I think this is going to be the first real rape, like the first rape thing. And it's going to be a girl, and she is going to be 17 years old.
All right, Chiz, reveal.
Are there any white people on this list, Chiz?
Oh.
He did. I mean, he's taking them as they come.
White people are fairly represented in pedophilia, I think. Oh, a ding, ding, ding. 18, rape. Ooh, victims mentally disabled. Again, God. Well, there's a big...
Look in the retard angle.
So wait.
Did
someone... Who got so close to that?
Shit, Taylor.
I said 17 years old female rape, and it's 18 female second-degree rape.
All
so
right,
I deserve a handful of points out of this.
I'm getting some points, too. I said 27-year-old female rape.
Yeah, you got 2 right. Unless we're having to count degrees of rape, which I don't think is very fair. I don't even know what the different degrees are.
Never do.
This guy does.
Depends how big you are.
I always ask my attorney.
Okay, this is what second-degree rape is. Second-degree rape, victim who is mentally disabled, mentally incapacitated, or physically helpless, and the person performing the act knows they should... same thing as last time, pretty much.
God damn it.
I went ahead to the next guy. Kyle will be pleased.
John
we've got a whitey.
Henderson. This looks like Wings of Redemption's father.
John Patrick Henderson.
I see it. He's 66 at the time of offense. So I think this guy went for a little kid. I'm going young on this. I'm going 5. I'm going boy. And I'm going some sort of attempted rape.
I'm going underage girl and some sort of maybe child pornography. I feel like the white guys, they turned their perversion into business, right?
So smart.
Yeah, damn it, Kyle. Now I can't.
Yes.
I feel like
don't you hate that when you play these games and someone comes with a better one, you're like, actually, I want that one.
I'm going to say he did some weird shit to the kid. He filmed it, and maybe he sold it. But I believe, how old did I say? It's a girl.
5.
Yeah, I'm going to say like a 5-year-old girl.
You know why Kyle's wrong? Because a 66-year-old can barely use YouTube.
You know what I found? Because I was recently looking at the FBI's most wanted list. The older guys who are into pedophilia, they get on board with that stuff. You know, they're like just like if you can make money from doing it and they see that, they get on board with the tech. You know, like you see a lot of older guys who are day traders, stuff like that. They figure it out when they see that it's not just some frivolous thing.
He's the greatest generation.
There you go.
No, he's a boomer. No.
Oh, he's a boomer. Yeah, he is a boomer.
Or
anyway,
no, he's 4 years before that. Whatever, doesn't matter. I am going to say he diddled a young boy who was 12, and I don't know. Diddled is too vague. The victim was 12 and male.
Second degree diddling.
What he did, it was is there a third degree diddle? I'm gonna go with third degree diddling. Like kind of like he put the tip of the kid's cock in his mouth.
And I want to add for some sort of extra credit. I think he was related to the victim.
Ooh, I like it.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know what the actual crimes are, Chiz. That's than assault, than sexual assault. That's what I'm saying.
All right, Chiz, link it up. He did. 7 male indecent liberty with a minor. I think I'm doing pretty well. I said 5, I think, but otherwise I nailed it.
Taylor literally said diddling, and that's written here.
Yeah, it's Chiz wrote kid diddling.
I love that we're really laughing it up over kid diddling. Actual documented kid diddling.
Yeah, but there's no way to undiddle those kids.
I can't believe it.
Damage is done. Let's get a laugh.
Golly, I did. Okay, so I said 12 male diddling. So I got a couple points.
Male attempted rape, I think. And
an attempted rape is pretty close to a diddle, but I mean, Chiz is the legal expert.
I think that's when you just can't get it in.
Chiz will decide how many points I get.
Your Honor, you are speaking to a confirmed kitty diddler over here. They should say that in court.
I got the age one. Oh, okay. I think he gave me the low points. Okay.
I suck at this game.
Kyle, why don't you go first?
You would be of no use to the SVU.
No.
I'd go in there like a fucking
profiler?
A psychic, and I'd go, I know exactly who did this. It was John Henderson of 66-year-old creep.
I would make a terrible profiler, it seems.
There's plenty of time for you to come back, Kyle. I've got faith in you. You're just
all right. Here is Francis Henry Desmarais.
That works.
He's a where's his age at? For some reason I'm missing it.
Age at the time of offense 52.
Okay. Well, he was born in 51, so that makes him
67.
67, yes.
Yeah, so he's 67. He's 5'7", 205 pounds. What did Mr. Francis Henry Desmarais, whatever the fuck that is, what did he do?
He did something to a kid. I know he did. He definitely did something to a kid. I'm gonna say he's 5'7". I think it was a little girl. I think it was I'm gonna go with an 8-year-old girl, and I'm gonna say that he. I just don't feel like rape is gonna be it. I feel like he like did something digitally or orally with a 8-year-old girl.
Okay. I think this is the child porn dude. I think he's clever, and I think he had a big collection of child porn. And I don't know how to even do sex and age on that, so I probably won't get many points. But I'll go male in 5, just in case I get something out of it.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, fill in those blanks. Maybe sometimes you get one right.
See, I think you're right on this one. This guy does look like the child porn guy, because look at how close his eyes are together. Look at how listless and dead and black they are, like a doll's eyes. Like, this is a man who has he never wishes. He has no regret for what he did. I think this guy sold and probably operated a kiddie porn site or something. But I'm not going to say that because Woody said that, and it's only one possible answer. I'm going to say he going to say it was. You know what? We should have been doing this where we have to answer it in the form of clue, where it's like it was Francis Henley de Marois in his granddaughter's bedroom with his cock.
Watch, I bet we're all completely off, and he raped an old woman.
I'm going to say, I'm going to go 11 years old, female, and it was molesting. He molested her. Let's see what we got. 18 female aggravated rape.
I knew it was a girl.
Yeah, you did. You did. We got a couple of girl points, but
Yeah,
aggravated rape, according to Chiz, is in prison for 60 months using weapons / beating the victim. Aggravated rape takes place where the victim sustains serious bodily injuries or subjected to other criminal conduct during the same episode as the rape.
God damn.
So this guy seems. We were right about him being a dead-eyed. We were right during the game about guessing what sex predators do, and seeing this was a no good Nick. You know, like
yeah, exactly.
He only did 5 years for that.
Dude, you should spend way more than 5 fucking years in prison for that.
The next guy, actually, just judging him, seems pretty nice. Like when I look at his
He did less than 5 years, and then he got out. Jesus.
Oh my God.
Are you guys on to Levon?
Oh, Mr. Cosby.
Oh, Costin Levon Exum.
This guy looks like you'd hire him as a babysitter.
I would not. It would. Yeah, I'm glad you're out of babysitter hiring years, Woody. Because, well, his name's Mr. Exum.
Hey, I'm sure
Seems
you
like a
could,
stand-up
Woody.
guy.
He's local.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't say which of these are local to Woody and which are local to me. I'll just assume they're all Woody, so I feel bad.
Yeah, I think their majority is from Woody's neck of the woods.
Mr. Exum is 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, brown eyes, gray hair, and 49 years old at the time of his offense. He does not have as dead of eyes as the previous guy.
He looks like a sweet man to me. So I'm going to say that his accuser was 35 years old. She's claiming it was rape, and she's a woman, but he's really innocent.
It was exonerated.
If you got that one right, you win. You win the game if you correctly guess.
Woody would donate to this guy's legal fund based solely on his eyes.
I thought no one would be able to be on my side again until I watched the episode of PKA podcast on YouTube when this
Mr.
man
Gamer
Woody's Gamer Tag said,
vindicated
I
me.
believe he was innocent. Mr. Gamer Tag is sweet as he is wrong. I raped that woman. And if you let me out, I'll do it again.
Can't stop, won't stop.
He's doing that thing like Morgan Freeman does at the end of Shawshank Redemption. Like, are you rehabilitated from your crimes? Like, rehabilitated? I think about that rape each and every day, and each and every day, if I were to go back, I would do it again. So you tell me, am I rehabilitated? They're like, passed. Get out of here, you ruffian. You know, get back on the streets.
Go ahead and stamp your form. I got stuff to do.
That's a good scene.
Yeah,
All
it
right,
is.
you guys go.
All right. So what did he do? Who wants to drop out with this one first?
Didn't do anything. Carry on.
I know Woody's going with innocence. I like that.
Woody go with the didn't do nothing. Defense.
What do you got, Kyle?
Shit. I feel like he raped a woman who was of age. So let's say he was 49 when he did it. Maybe he was tempted by a 25-year-old woman, and he went all the way. He raped her.
You guys aren't answering in the right format.
Your format presumes guilt.
He did it in the back of the car with Bernice, the 25-year-old grad student.
And he used a candlestick.
With his cock. Okay.
With the thick six.
All right. I'm saying Mr. Exum did it at his mother-in-law's house with a friend of hers who is 32, and he did it with his cock and hands. Some heavy groping and petting.
You show me one of these rapists who didn't use their hands, and I'll show you a future Olympian.
Well, we don't know what's on the rest of this list, Kyle, so it might not be right. All right, let's see.
I rape you with my hands behind my back, bitch. I go Conor McGregor on your ass.
You think I stopped raping when you put me in here?
Run at you, humping. God
Victor
damn it, we are
15.
retarded.
We're so bad at this. He tried to pick up a 15-year-old boy, and he only got 30 months probation. I told you he wasn't so bad.
Enticing a minor. He enticed me.
Well, this is definitely the guy you want to come over to your house, Woody.
He likes 15-year-old boys. I have a 15-year-old boy.
I'm also a personal trainer. Maybe I could help your son with his deadlift.
He said he does have to fix his form.
Yeah, I'll straighten him right up.
Arch that back. Get your butt up.
You're over there like,
No, here we lift naked in this house. Get those pants off. Yeah, so 15 male enticing a minor.
clothing is naturally constrictive of the anaerobic process.
Dude, the next one.
Let's all strip down, Mr. Woodward.
Have you seen the
You're
next
like, well,
person?
all right.
It's Louis C.K. We all know what this guy did. He masturbated in front of women who were only semi-willing.
Who granted
No,
him
that's not Louis
permission.
C.K. That's Ron Howard's brother.
Oh, it's Ron Howard's brother. Yeah, it is. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I don't know Ron Howard's brother.
Oh, well, hang on a minute. Let's pause at this moment so I can show you Ron Howard's brother.
Yeah, because I'm totally on.
Yeah, you nailed that. His name's Clint.
Yeah, put up a picture of Ron Howard's brother next to him. Just
I apologize, but I just sent the Google image link.
this guy he's wearing a backpack in this picture.
Oh.
I'm gonna go on a limb here and say the sex offender, a better looking man than Ron Howard's brother.
Well, that's a low bar. Ron Howard's brother may be the ugliest man ever.
He is a hell of an actor, though.
Steve Buscemi?
No, I blow Steve Buscemi long
looks
before.
fantastic compared to this guy.
Yes, Steve's got those teeth that look like they could give you gangrene, but otherwise he's an odd looking.
Sunken eyes.
Sunken eyes, yeah. He's
David,
not ugly.
David Jerome Dick is 5'9", 187 pounds, blue eyes, blonde or strawberry hair. Age at the time of the offense, 48.
Can I jump in here? This guy likes little boys. All right, sometimes we'll see a picture of a maniac in like Florida Man, and we're like, well, shit. Look at him. They should have locked him up as soon as he was spotted on the streets, long before he actually committed a crime. Some people have the look of a deranged, sick person, okay? I'm not saying Clint Howard fucks little boys, but maybe, probably, almost certainly
if I saw
he
this
does.
guy on the street, I would ask him if he had a bit part in Spaceballs, and if he said no, I'd sprint the other direction.
Exactly.
Because I don't want to be around
say
this
this guy, these are all, I've noticed that a lot of these guys are small, like 5'7", 5'9". I'm going to say he raped a little boy. Let's call the boy, let's call him 6.
Okay.
Little Timmy.
I was like,
in the observatory with the
I don't know what he's about to say. If he calls this little boy Colin, he's really stepped over the line.
No.
Like, let's call this. Well, we went there a second ago.
Oh, well, he's 15 and this guy lives right next to you. I mean, I feel like next time you're parkour, look around for that guy.
Okay. Taylor, did you go?
It was a 10-year-old boy in the kitchen with his cock. Molesting. Oh, these are the St. Louis people? Eek. All right, that's what I'm doing. He gave him a little molesting.
Oh, I went first, Chiz. I said that he masturbated in front of 35-year-old women. Because he's Louis C.K.
I think you're going to get that wrong, and I'm happy for you to do it because I'm racking up points over here.
No.
Far behind.
And Taylor's going to get all this stuff.
I nailed it. I nailed it.
You're coughing. You're so surprised.
I nailed it. I nailed it. He literally raped a 6-year-old boy.
That's perfect, Kyle. Well done.
It's exactly what I said, because I even said a nightstick. That is sodomy.
Oh, yeah. Or sodomy just means in the mouth or ass.
In the mouth or the ass, yeah. I think
a lot of people don't know sodomy means mouth too. So they see these anti-sodomy laws and think, well, I don't have gay sex anyway. You probably would be impacted.
Yeah, if your girlfriend's ever put her finger in your butt, you're going to hell.
Put your,
Or to
your
jail,
cock in
depending
your
on the
mouth.
state.
You can't put your cock in your girlfriend's mouth. What kind of rule is that?
So this was not his first rodeo. What we're seeing here was for an incident in 06, but he also had 2 counts of sodomy against him from an incident in 89 with a female also under the age of 14. So this just goes to show that people can be rehabilitated.
He's the sodomizer.
He's the sodomizer. I was going to say he was either mouth or ass, but if he had 2 counts of sodomy, he covered his bases.
That's right.
All right, I skipped ahead to the last guy. I want to go first.
Hang on. How many points do I get from that, Chiz? I got them all. I ran the table on that. That puts me back in the game, baby.
You're back in the game, my friend.
Last I saw, Taylor had 8.
I don't know. Well, it'll be a surprise on who's winning at the end.
All right.
One, boys.
Last dude, I want to go first because he definitely sucks somebody's dick. This guy, he just got that dick sucking mouth. He's trying right now in the photo. This guy, and I think it's a fairly large dick-ish. Like, that's not a child's dick.
Can we all make the face he's making right now, like do our best at it?
All right. This guy sucked the dick of a 16-year-old boy. Bam.
Sucked the dick of a 16-year-old boy. Okay. Kyle, what are you going with?
I think I should get a point just for mimicking him so well.
Can you do it again? I didn't get to see you. You look like a terrified old man. Yeah.
So does he.
You know what? Point. Give Kyle a point. I say that's okay. It's like whose line? Yeah.
God, I think he likes girls. Wait a minute. Look at that shirt. No, he doesn't like girls.
It does say I like little boys on that shirt and like that Conor McGregor style, like written very small.
He's 5'8", 200 pounds. He does not look like he could overpower any boy over the age of 13.
Smart.
I'm going to go 8-year-old boy here. You know what? I'm going to go 3-year-old boy. I'm going to say that he, whatever you do to a 3-year-old boy, I guess I have to say something. Molestation, some sort of digital penetration. He did something awful to a 3-year-old boy. I guess I'll go with molestation of a 3-year-old boy.
And what did you say, Woody?
That he sucked the dick of a 17-year-old boy.
Okay, sucked the dick of a 17-year-old. This guy looks like a goddamn maniac, so it could be anything.
It's the mouth.
Stick his dick in there.
This guy has oral fixations.
I think
17-year-olds will stick their dick in anything.
See, everyone up till now has been the dick sticking into something else. This would be the turn of the tide, as Gandalf would say, when the dick goes into him. So I'm going to say that he did suck the dick of someone, but 17 is too old. I'm going to say he sucked the dick of a 10-year-old boy, and he did it in the library. In the library.
I like where you're headed because I'm not sure sucking a 17-year-old dick is even a crime.
Colonel Mustard was jerk.
Woody, you can change your age.
Because I think I might be able to consent at that point. I'm going to make the kid 13. I only said 17 because his mouth was open wide enough for an adult dick.
Uh-oh. 6-year-old girl and decent exposure.
Ooh. You got the
the sex diddled the kid and exposed himself to said child.
Yeah, you got 3 points for sex. Well done. You know, you started off slow and dumb, but you finished up like a real pedophile.
Nicely done, Kyle. Who won?
I did.
Did you?
Yep.
I think Kyle may have come back, and I don't know. It doesn't. Who knows? Give me a sec to do the math. Banter.
Banter. Well, just thanks for putting the game together. I had fun.
I enjoyed the sex offender game. That was very fun, judging these people based solely upon their looks. I would like to do other games where we judge people solely upon their looks. Like maybe next time we guess whether the person is
retarded or ugly,
a liberal or a child molester, Democratic senator or rapist.
I was hoping
both. It's him.
I was hoping that one of these mugshots would be a dude in a priest collar. He'd be like, diddle the boy, diddle the boy.
Oh, that would have been.
That would have been far too easy.
But yeah, I have a game like this that I'm trying to set up. I just needed to be the producer to do it.
Yeah. This was fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
Give us ideas for any games like this you think would be fun to watch or listen to, because stuff like this is fun. I enjoy it.
And
Like
those-
I wish there were more.
Ooh. Well, the bonus point. All right.
no,
I'll
the
read it
bonus
out.
point makes me at 22.
Oh,
Yeah.
I misunderstood. All
Yeah,
right.
I won fair.
So
Fair.
Kyle got 21 points. The bonus would have made it 22. Taylor got 20 points, and I got 12.
You're making your crazy face.
That's my Ricky Meek face.
Looking at these results, I don't think any of us would be an asset to any special victims unit across the nation.
No. I
Like,
don't
what
think
did he do? Well, he fucked a kid in the library with. Where are you taking me? Like, squad. All right, that's good. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So,
good job.
talking about kids and unpleasant things that are tangentially related to sex, here is a story about a 9-year-old boy who was accidentally, by quote unquote mistake, circumcised at school in I guess it's South Africa, where they didn't sign his permission slip to get his cockskin cut off, and yet he returned home sans cockskin, and they are not pleased with it one bit.
Well, that's unfortunate. Taylor, will you get your kids circumcised?
Hell no, no way.
Yeah, totally against it. I feel like that's the way that America's trending.
Mm-hmm. Like you can only, I think it was a natural thing that like for so long it was like, you know, people did what they thought. Like I'm circumcised. My mom and dad were like, oh yeah, I guess that's what everybody does. It's, you know, it keeps it cleaner or whatever. It doesn't spread STDs, and it's like that's all.
I had
That's
this talk
all.
with my mother.
That's all fucking made up. That's all not true. Like if anything, it increases your odds of getting an infection when you leave an open wound on a baby's cock and he's shitting into it all day. Like of course something like that's going to be worse.
I don't
like,
think you know where penises are. Makes me
I
wonder
don't
what you've
think
got
that-
in your pants.
I've been enough.
How long
I've
is
been
this
around-
baby cock that it goes all the way to the ass crack?
You clearly have not been around babies because they will shit and it will
Yes.
come out of the front. Like it's baffling how much shit they can produce. Like a couple of my friends have had children recently, and just being around them, you like peep the diaper, and it's like, how could it fill up that whole thing and have enough extra to spray on itself? Like you're
On
an
the,
extra in fucking Apocalypto.
On the Stern Show, they had a competition between Sal Governale, one of the show contributors, and some guest to see which could fit the most M&Ms into their foreskin.
I mean, that's pretty fun. I wish I had foresight so I could compete.
Yeah. And I don't. I had a conversation with my mom one time. I don't know how it came up, but she's like, you better thank me. Your grandmother didn't want you circumcised. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you.
Dude, this is like that is such a fucking pet peeve of mine, is the defense of circumcision, where it's like, I'm happy I had my dick skin cut off. I'm happy about I wouldn't have it any other way. It's like, yeah, well, you didn't have a choice in the first place, and it's not normal to do that to kids. Like it's so fucked. Do you see how weird that is? That like everywhere else on Earth, like except for I guess Israel.
So you're saying because it's not natural, we should probably not do it.
I'm saying that you should keep sharp implements away from the genitals of children, as a rule of thumb. Like if there's nothing to fix, then don't try to fix it. Like, and I don't think anybody's a bad person for like doing it because they thought it was the right thing to do. But we're getting to the point in the internet that it's like, no, this is bad. This is a bad thing. You don't want
What's
this. You
so
want your kids
bad
to-
about it? Because I think you're maybe more in touch with this topic than me.
It takes away a ton of sensitivity. You can no longer jack off unless you use lotion.
That's not true.
Well, you can if you want it to be like not that good, I guess. But, you know, if you're in a pinch, you know, everyone can be a dry guy, but ideally not be a dry guy. And no, I don't want to jack off with lube. Like I don't like doing that. But like
Okay.
that's the thing is like it's really not like kids die from it multiple times a year. They'll get infections or have something go wrong. Or
Oh, you
there's
just gotta
cases
suck
that-
on it a little.
There's the
That
case
fixes
of, well,
that.
that's what the moil does. Lots of times in New York,
Some
where
moils.
they cut the dick skin
The
off and then they
full-service
give it a
moils.
little, and
They don't
suck
get
the
baby
blood
AIDS.
out.
They get baby herpes. Let's get it straight.
No, they sometimes get like baby Hep C and die.
So, but
Price
you
you pay.
said that it's not cleaner, and I thought that part actually was true.
No,
It's
it's
clean-
like it's not cleaner the same way that if you're like, well, if we cut the kid's arms off, his underarm BO is going to be far less intense. It's like, well, how about you leave his
Oh,
arm
that's
so he can clean
hyperbolic.
himself?
No, it's like this. we always talk about how fat people, no matter how much they wash, those folds have to get smelly by the end of the day. Or and having the folds means that they have to be extra vigilant at the very least about their showering practice. Like, I don't know about you, but I wash up and down on my body and I get everywhere. I don't have to lift anything. I don't have to unfurl anything. Here's my argument for that's pro circumcision, and it's the one that I found makes the most sense, because all I care about is sex in this regard. First of all, I do think it looks better. You should be on my team. No, you should be on my team. We're talking about masturbation. Listen, I don't want my penis to be more sensitive. I want it to be less sensitive. I want to be able to go longer. But here's the real key to the whole thing. There is no woman out there, none, who say, "Ooh, he's circumcised." No, thank you. However, it is undeniable that there are women out there who say, "Ew, he's not circumcised. No, thank you." Case closed. Case closed. If the new trend was that there were some women out there who were like, "Ooh, he's got his pinky fingers. No, thank you." I'd cut these fuckers off, bro. I don't care. I'd cut my baby's pinky fingers off with like clippers. Whatever it takes. Whatever the social norm is, let's go with it. Now, you can argue about cleanliness, sensitivity, cruelty. I don't remember this. I don't think I have any trauma from it. And no matter what you say, I've seen the gross stuff that comes out of Sal Governale's cock sometimes. It's called smegma. And I've also seen him explain... I've also seen him explain that when he urinates, he has to pull the skin back, get some tissue, and dry out the inside of his foreskin. Okay? These are just not things that I would ever want to have to deal with.
You're talking about one dude with foreskin on Howard Stern, and they're not going to bring in a guy with great foreskin. They're going to bring in a fucked up guy.
He works on the show. He's been on there for like 20 years or something. He's not like a freak they bring in.
I thought he was too. I didn't know.
Well, if his dick was normal, they wouldn't have brought him out. Like, you see,
they've got another guy who does the same thing. They got another guy that painted Sal's face with his cock live on the air with like finger painting. Dipped his cock in paint and painted Sal's face. His dick's normal. I mean, it's a little small, but his name's Richard.
These are all interesting takes on circumcision.
No, I nailed it. You can't beat that. I win this argument.
Man, I've been stumped. I guess we should just cut kids' genitals.
Absolutely, we should.
Just do it, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Dude, I know you're like tongue-in-cheek joking.
I'm absolutely not. I'm 100% for it. I don't think it should be mandatory. However, if I had a kid, he's getting circumcised.
Dude, it's so fucked up. Like, knowing what we know today, to be like, yeah, just cut the tip of the kid's dick skin.
Is it more fucked up than piercing a baby's ears?
Yes. Yes,
How much
absolutely
more?
Is. I don't know. When you take the earring out, it grows back, right?
I suppose so, but we're still punching a hole in a 2-year-old's ear with a machine.
It seems like you take umbrage with that. You don't like that?
I don't like that.
And you like the cutting permanently of the skin off. So
because
what's the difference?
The baby doesn't remember. It's as soon as it comes out virtually. They usually do it at the hospital like right away.
So I wouldn't, because I'm younger than you, but if someone molested you at the age of 4 and you had no memory of it, you think that's all right?
Yeah.
As long as you don't remember.
That there's a difference, I think, between an assault and a medical procedure that a doctor performs.
Well, they're both things that are unnecessary, that are causing permanent harm.
If a doctor gave me an unnecessary rectal exam when I was a baby, I'd be okay with that too. If a doctor gave me an unnecessary 3-stroke hand job when I was 3, I wouldn't care. I'm telling you, I'm glad I'm circumcised. I would want my child to be circumcised, but I fully support everyone's right and opinion about not being circumcised.
No, you don't have a right.
I wish you could be as tolerant as the rest of us, Taylor.
I know, I'm a real bigot.
I feel that your foreskin intolerance is a sign of an underlying bigotry.
Intolerance.
Jordan Peterson would say that Taylor has a very high disgust component of his personality. He is completely intolerant of the other side, where like I'm really like, I give parents a little leeway to make the best decision they think they can make. They're just acting on their kids' behalf. You are intolerant of people who don't line up with you.
I absolutely am in this. And there some arguments there is no middle ground. There's no middle ground to be had. And when the argument against it's Well, you should be able to cut this baby's dick skin off permanently as he's screaming a few minutes old because it looks better. We should maim him permanently, risk something getting fucked up because some women prefer that. Whereas the other side, my side, is let's not perform elective surgeries on children needlessly.
So
Chicken
maybe we
ticket is a strong argument.
shouldn't remove the umbilical cord either. Maybe we should just let that dangle.
That's totally the same because the umbilical cord sticks with you your whole life, right? Unscathed.
I mean, I don't know how long it would last if we didn't cut it off.
Almost, it would go away. Like, do you think in the wild, like they would always like cut the umbilical cord immediately, right? Like it'll dry up and crisp away. Like when a baby gets the umbilical cord cut, like it doesn't turn into a belly button right away. It's like a gross, gnarled up root that takes time to fall off. Like that. It would fall off naturally on its own. If you leave a baby with his foreskin walking around, you're not going to be walking behind him as he lays walking around. And you go, oh, his foreskin fell off. Oh, he's becoming a little man.
Why are you so well schooled in the first couple weeks of a kid's life? I didn't know this before I had kids.
The first couple weeks.
You don't have an older sibling who's like ahead.
Oh, I'm at the age where tons of my friends are having children, and I'm around them where I see them constantly, and so like I'm seeing them. Like at different ages.
That makes perfect sense. I was wondering, like, why does Taylor know so much? I didn't know shit. But I was like the first of my friend group to have the kids, so I was opposite.
Well, I live near 3 grade schools, but no closer than 500 yards to it. Yeah. I'm glad Chiz is on my side with this.
He is. I'm really just like
all bets aside, we circumcised Colin. I'm sure he want you all to know. And I don't know if it was the right call or not. It was basically, it came down to like, I see a lot of arguments against this, but I'm circumcised, and I guess it sounds pedo to almost phrase it this way, but I thought he'd want to look like his dad.
That's right.
That he'd, he'd feel like something was wrong with him if he didn't look like his dad. And that was probably the tiebreaker in the pro and con.
But did you consider having a foreskin added to yourself to spare him that?
No.
If that had been an option.
Like a couple of donation eyelids from the morgue.
if they could have removed a bit of thigh skin, a little bit of thigh flesh, and given you a foreskin to spare Colin that pain.
It'd be liposuction plus foreskin adding.
Remember, there was an episode of Friends. Where Joey he was an aspiring actor in the show, his character was, and he was trying out for this part that was like a period piece, he's like 17th century France or something. He's like a stable boy who appears nude. The problem was they were looking for a non-circumcised actor. So he's got a tray of lunch meats and he's trying one piece after another to see which one works. And he finally finds that a bit of prosciutto or something like that wrapped around just right.
A little gabagool.
Little gabagool. Looks like foreskin. So he gets his lunch meat, applies it to his cock, and he goes in and he's standing there nude. And they're like, he does his lines, and they're like, excellent, nice job. And he's getting the role, and then you hear flop, and everybody looks down. It's falling off on the floor.
my foreskin. Is anybody gonna get that? Yeah.
He should have screamed in pain, right?
It's so naughty.
I guess it does look a little better. Not nearly as greasy.
Well, I'm glad we had that little discussion again, and I won again.
I won again. You're just a winner, man. What do you think about what do you think?
2 tonight.
So if you lived in Kenya, you would be the guy that's like, Mugabe, you must cut the clit off of your young girl. None of the boys here want to see a clit. If they put their pants down and they see a clit, they will become very angry. It is in her best interest you clip it off. Here are my Ortona clippers.
I think what a clit circumcision.
I don't think that's analogous. A clit circumcision.
Because that's a different culture that is not like yours.
Let me finish.
You don't like it.
I don't think it's analogous because removing the clit is analogous to removing the penis.
You're wrong in this way. There are many. You're talking about it like it's just removing the clit.
I'm fully aware of the procedure.
You're clearly
the
not.
comparison would be removing the clitoral hood, which is the female equivalent of a foreskin. And I'm for that. And I think that if I were a girl, I would want my clitoral hood removed because then the clitoris is always exposed, always ready for a good flicking of the bean, more sensitive, and she's not going to remember it.
Taylor, I don't mean to gang up on you, but Kyle's winning me over with this clitoral hood removal thing. We could all be masters in bed if it wasn't for that clitoral hood playing goalie against her orgasms.
I'm trying to make things happen for this young lady, and I have 2 hands and a mouth, and one of my hands, sole duty, is exposing the clitoris. What if I had that hand free
is
now?
required to hold me from the jungle gym, and there's only so much I can do with the remaining hand.
That's right.
I mean, these are thoughts.
Checkmate.
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 Boom, roasted.
So you want like little girls walking around with like exposed clits, like their pants are always like uncomfortable, rubbing against their sensitive little clits.
Just
you better wear a
orgasm
dress and some crotchless panties. Every time you pop on an exercise bag, you're gonna have like 8 orgasms. Yeah, absolutely. I want that. I want that for me. If I were a girl, I'd be like, yes. Can I do it now? Is it too late? Is it too late? Can you make it bigger?
Can all 7 of our female listeners weigh in? Do you have your clit hoods? And would you like to get rid of them?
They all apply. Unfortunately, yes. Kyle's 100% on board.
Kyle's right. I hate this damned clit hood. Every day I get naked and look in the mirror and pull up my clit hood and just think, why can't you always be there, little fella?
By the way, I was talking to a girl recently. She told me that she is intending to get a labiaplasty. She doesn't have
Did you make her feel bad? I think you made her feel bad. I know you.
No, I know that's not what happened at all.
Did you eat labia for breakfast? Yeah.
Kyle's a well-known labist. He's a lab prejudiced.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I influenced one person out there, and she's gonna do the right thing, you know. And it's not like she had a crazy amount of stuff going on down there, but you know, there's always another level of perfection that can be achieved.
I should have known better than to bring up clitoral partial or full circumcision to Kyle in an argument after how many times you've made it abundantly clear you are all in favor of snipping those labia down with some garden shears if need be.
That was an unforced error, Taylor. We all know his position on this.
Chiz backs me up on this one.
Here, I have a video to watch.
Is it about clit hoods?
It is not. It's a totally new topic.
And I'm bored of it.
Are you?
Girl gets pissed too. Ooh, I haven't seen the first one. Am I gonna understand it?
So, there's a dude on a motorcycle. He passes a girl. They flip on the bird, and you can watch his reply. It's 3 minutes, but I maybe just will. You need to see the beginning and the end, so I'll work on skipping ahead. Are you guys ready? Set. Yep. Play.
I got someone on a red crotch rocket.
He sees a girl. You can't tell. There's a girl or two in the car in front of him, and they're going slower than he'd like them to go. He passes on the double yellow, and what you don't know is they flipped him the bird for passing on the double yellow. And he is really upset about this. He's waving his hands. He's not sure like what their problem is.
Come on now.
Yeah, he's overreacting to this. When someone flips you off, you give them the toodaloo. They don't know what to make of it, and they get so much more mad than if you flipped them back off. You give them the toodaloo. Smile.
So, I don't know if I want to burn the next 2 minutes getting there, but he, it's only 1 minute. We'll just let it play through. He's going to drive crazy for the next minute because he's still not over this bird incident.
What a pussy.
Yeah, he's an ass. He's pulled over and he's let them go by.
And now he's going to fucking pass him again. He's going 50 miles, 60 miles, 80 miles, 90 miles per hour. 100 miles per hour. No, 85. I'm sorry. Now he's 105 miles per hour. Topped out at 107 as he passed him the second time.
Such a shame this guy doesn't get in an accident.
Now he's slowing down again. Going 30.
Does this guy have anywhere to go?
He's just messing with these girls.
For a pleasure ride.
Did you notice there's a stop sign coming up?
No.
There was those yellow stop sign,
Okay.
signs.
Yeah,
So
so
now-
he's going 25 to be an asshole, I guess. Oh, but he is coming to a stop, so.
Yeah, so now he stops at the stop sign, parks his bike across the entire lane diagonally.
Why are you flicking me off? Why are you flicking me off?
Because you were going around me.
Yeah, so what? You were going slower than me. I'm not getting in your way. You don't gotta be a bitch and flick me off. I didn't do nothing to you.
What a prick.
Just don't be an asshole. You're gonna get your mirror smashed off. Jesus. think
She's
with your head.
apologizing.
What the hell's wrong with you?
There's a kid in the car.
She submissively apologizes, and he responds with, "Do your head," flips to the bird, says, "Get the fuck out of here," and drives on. And that's about the end of it. He just keeps driving super fast. This guy recorded this video on his helmet cam and was confident enough in his sense of right and wrong that he uploaded it to YouTube.
Yeah, that's what's
I
always
bet he's not
surprising about
circumcised and he's proud of it.
this. God, checkmated again. Grandmaster Kyle over here, dropping hammers, checkmates, rook and bishop strategies all over the place. Yeah, this guy's a prick. Like, and I always think of that same thing, Woody, where like you see a really douchey video put from the perspective of the douche, and you're like, this guy's even douchier than I thought, because he saw this, watched it, clipped it down, and went, everyone's gonna see I'm right. As I bully this woman and her child after antagonizing them. Like, what
Was
a
that
prick.
a kid in the other seat? I didn't see like you did.
I assume it was a kid. Yeah, it looked like a young kid. Double
Oh.
yellow. He's wrong. With that kind of driving, it's only a matter of time until, Lord willing, he dies. God forbid he runs into someone or someone runs into him and they damage their car or get injured.
I give him a little bit of slack on the double yellow thing. If that was all he did, pass a car in a not very populated double yellow, because the thing about motorcycles, the real danger is somebody hitting you. They are harder to see, and you are really vulnerable. So when I see a motorcyclist, like, for example, go to the front of the line on the red light and then just take off in front, I think that's cool. Now he doesn't have any traffic next to him, and I wasn't going to do that anyway. I wasn't going to take off and go from 0 to 100 in 5 seconds.
And yeah, exactly. He didn't slow anyone else down. It's not, and they have so much acceleration as far as the double line thing goes, especially in that specific scenario, that he was around her, past her, back in the lane in an extremely short amount of time, a safe amount of time.
As a motorcyclist, sorry, I sometimes will break a traffic law to get clear space so that I don't have any cars around me. Now, I don't do what he did quite there, that double yellow. You could just chill, and it wasn't that busy. But, whatever. But, man, how he thought he needed to avenge that middle finger business? He was in Crazy Town.
Yeah, like who really needs to avenge a someone flipped me off today and did this kind of shit on my as I was driving in, and like all I did was the thing people do where like you're trying to get into the fast lane and I'm going 75 and they're going behind me like 100, but I get into the lane like a quarter mile ahead of them. And they still keep going 100, and then they get like right behind you, and they're mad at you because like you're only going 80. It's like, yeah, now I'm going 80. We're in the fast lane. Like we're in the city. You can't just be going 100. Like, you're gonna get pulled over, you dumb cunt. And it was a dumb cunt. And she pulled up right behind me. I got really close, and then like got into 2 lanes over and did her like really fast acceleration. And I will admit I did a second of really fast acceleration. I'm like, I'll do this. It's 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. I'm ready. And I went like, and I was like, okay, no, you're an adult. You don't do this. And she got in front of me and did a brake check, like a slam on the brake. And like, so much so that like my phone, I was listening to something. I didn't have it plugged in because it wasn't that, it wasn't worth it. I just had it sitting in my cup holder playing. And like my phone, like I slammed on my brakes so hard that it flew forward. And you know what I did in response? Nothing, because I'm an adult, and I knew this whore is hopefully getting beaten by her husband at home, or
I hope. Crossing fingers.
Fingers crossed. She's killed in a tragic accident. You're the only one in the car, so enjoy your nice, cool white Ford Fusion. which actually are pretty nice cars. The new Ford Fusions, they're nicer than you would think.
You have the worst taste in cars.
They're nice.
They're not bad.
What? Maybe I'm wrong. All right, I'm googling. Hold on.
I don't have great taste in cars. That's fair. Like Kyle said, Ford or Honda Accord for the young person car. I think you guys gave me shit when I said that might be my next car. But I think I'm leaning more towards SUV, probably Honda or Toyota.
That's because you're a man in your mid-20s trying to get pussy. I mean, maybe not at this moment or whatever, but then, and maybe that's not the vehicle to accomplish that most readily.
I've never gotten pussy because of a car.
Actually, I rate the Ford Fusion as medium.
Medium?
Yeah.
You never will with that attitude. Thank you, Chiz.
Yeah, dude. I guess my theory is that girls do like cars, but that stops early, right? Once they get out of high school or maybe college.
What about your neighbor? I could have fucked your neighbor.
That's actually true.
Why didn't you?
I didn't know she was interested. Or I'd have been sleeping over her house instead of in Colin's room. I bet her toys are cooler. I got bored after like 2 hours playing with those Minecraft
I was really surprised by that. That was a grown woman. She would be older than Kyle's normal girl, but
you'd be surprised.
Then yes, I would be surprised. but yeah, she was telling us afterwards. She's like, "Who had that IROC or Camaro?" I guess she thought it was awesome. I didn't know.
I didn't know either when I purchased it. I bought it because like in 2005, when I first saw the concept drawing, I just fell in love with that car, and I was like, I'm gonna get one of those when I can, and I did. I fucking love it. But yeah, I've definitely had several instances of like girls who really liked the car, and that was maybe not the reason that like they dated me or hooked up with me or whatever, but it was the instigating moment,
part of the package.
It was kind of what started the conversation. Like there was a girl at a drive-through once, and I pulled through, and she's like, "That's a really nice car," and I immediately said, "Would you like to drive it?" And she's like, "Yes." What time do you get off? 9. Okay, I'll be back at 9.
Nice. Are either of you thinking about a new car? I know Kyle's truck, I think, is older.
Yeah, I haven't been driving it much at all. I almost drive the Camaro exclusively. I don't know. I still like it. I mean, the new ones have changed body style slightly, and I do like the new body style better. But like, I don't know. I walked out of a building yesterday, and I looked at my car, and I was like, it looks good. It looks good. I like it. There's no scratches or dings on it anywhere, and it still runs fine. It doesn't have any issues whatsoever. And I pay cash for it. I don't have a car payment, and a new car, the car that I would, if I replaced it, I'd be coming out of pocket for $45,000 or something like that. And just like, am I getting $45,000 more car than what I've got now? Nah. Like, so I'm going to drive mine until at least for another couple of years, until maybe it has an issue or something really cool that's a good value comes out. But if I crashed it today, if I totaled it, I'd probably get a brand new one. I'd get a new Super Sport Camaro because they look really cool.
Taylor?
Yeah, I'm going to drive my car until it is just undrivable and falls apart. And then I'm going to get fucking a Jeep in high school and college for a lot of the time. And I liked sitting higher. And so I want to get back to an SUV, preferably. And Kyle, you were saying, going to college, being a Jeep, you're going to get, PETA and Greenpeace on your case. What really happens is you become the guy that has to drive all sorts of people to Walmart for shopping trips because nobody else has a car big enough to fit groceries. And that's, you don't like, that was the thing that you figured out quick, is like, you don't let anybody know you have an SUV.
I knew a guy, and when he went to college, he got into like UGA or something that he'd been aiming for, and his parents had told him, if you get into UGA, we'll buy you a car, and then they gave him a pretty steep allowance for that car. He could have had really anything he wanted within reason, and he asked for a minivan. He asked for like a brand new, like the limited edition, like leather seats and shit minivan. He's like, he did.
I'm fucking with him.
And he's like, I can put all my friends in here. This thing's got 3 rows of rear seating. It's got a fucking plasma TV that folds down. I want the minivan. That's not my.
You know
choice,
what? It's
but-
kind of badass through that lens.
I don't know. He'd fill it up
like,
with 11 friends or something like that and go,
Dude, if you're in college and some guy pulls up in his Camaro and is like, yeah, let's go for a joyride. It's going to be fun. And then some other guy pulls up in his Honda Odyssey, with his custom, ice cream music van, like with his horn, like it's going to be really festive. Like, and he opens it up and there's like some cold beers and things in there. He's like, hop in, party bus. Everybody's hopping in that guy's car. That guy's the belle of the ball. And he's got Shrek 2 playing.
2?
Shrek 2. Yeah, you rethink that, Kyle. You've got Gushers in the back, fruit roll-ups. I'm going to bring orange slices, Capri Sun. It's going to be great. Taking all the kids to soccer practice.
The girl thing definitely is a thing, though. I remember my dad telling me about when he was a young gentleman, and he always had Corvettes. They always had Stingray Corvettes when he was in his 20s. And he was like, I went into a store. There was a pretty lady in there, and she was like, that's a nice car. And he was like, I told her, yeah, go hop in it. I'll be out in a minute. And he was like, I didn't really think anything of it. Went out there. She was in it.
Oh, Lamar.
And he's still driving around in his hot rods. He's got a Camaro and a 55 and a couple other little things. He's always fixing cars up.
I've got a hypothetical question for you guys. I was thinking about. So, a man murders, or in keeping with our theme of Chiz's game, rapes then murders someone.
No. Murders then rapes.
Murders then rapes. He's a mapist, a murderer of sorts, and he does what he does. They catch him, put him in prison. The prisoners dislike him so much, even though he gets put on death row, rather. And when he's out on the fucking yard, whatever the hell, they find him and they beat him up so bad, they beat him retarded, so that he doesn't know his past. He doesn't know anything about himself. He's just a feeble, like scared all the time. Like, now he's not at all the brutal, yeah, I'm gonna rape and murder people. He's not that guy at all anymore. He has no memory of that at all. He's not even the same person. Do you leave that person on death row or not?
You release him.
Interesting.
So I am instantly on the release him train. I'm half wondering if maybe this is an option we should offer to murderers, right? Like, hey, you can have death row or schoolyard beatdowns until you're retarded.
Lobotomy.
Now, you can have the electric chair, or you can take 3 retard pills a day for the next week. And what's it gonna do to me? Oh, you're gonna get pretty retarded. Will I be able to take care of myself?
Those on Rogan.
No. Yeah, you're gonna need to take some nootropic alpha brain and then chase that with a little bit of bone broth and Alex Jones fucking keratin paste, or the fuck that guy's doing now.
Some Omega Brain.
Omega Brain. But yeah, I was thinking about that one where it's like, yeah, he did do it, but is it even the same person at that point? It doesn't seem like it. It seems like you transfer that person to a mental home or something.
If I learned anything about our Woman of the Year, all you need to do is sex change. You can get away with vehicular homicide. So I don't know why this wouldn't work.
It's true. That's true. Caitlyn Jenner did kill those people.
That was such a slap in the face.
Buckle up,
he
buckaroo.
did. Buckle up, buckaroos. And I like the way they animate him, so he only talks out of one side of his mouth. Because that's pretty accurate. He does kind of talk out of the side of his mouth like that.
Hey, John Jones didn't kill anybody, Chiz, okay? He just broke that pregnant woman's arm.
That is all he did.
Oh, we talked about that. Yeah.
By the way, John Jones received a 15-month suspension from the sport for his steroid use.
Why was it so low?
Taylor's leaving. However, the important thing to remember is he got busted about, 11 months ago. So you fight next month? They did it retroactive. Time served, baby. He's back in the game. John Bones Jones is coming back, Cormier. Cormier looks scared.
Why was it so little, Kyle?
Because he's John fucking Jones, and he makes...
I thought I was setting you up. He snitched. He snitched on the other competitors and the people that supplied him with his drugs.
Good.
So they cut it down from something really long, like 30 months or 60 months to 15.
Excellent. Get him back in the game. Cormier looked fucking scared on ESPN. He looked fucking scared. He knows what's coming for him. The other guys like there's maybe a fight in the works now. He's like, listen, I gotta fight Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's what I'm gonna do, and I guess he beat me twice. So as a competitor, that's something maybe pussy. Cormier's scared. He knows what's coming. He's losing both those belts to
Allow
Jones.
me
Jones wants
to predict the future for you. Notre Dame, if you will. Fucking, but he beats Brock Lesnar, whoops him up, out wrestles the man because he is a much better fighter. Then he cuts the weight. He gets down to 205. He's never missed weight. Don't tell me. And a roidless John Jones gets his ass beat. DC retires, drops the mic.
Yeah, we can put some money on that one too, because here's what's going to happen. They fight for the heavyweight belt first. Jones beats him so bloody, he loses enough weight right then and there to drop to light heavyweight. And then he just continues the beating and takes both belts. That's what's fucking coming. John Jones is not afraid of Daniel Cormier. John Jones is going to knock him out or elbow him in the fucking temple or bleed him dry or submit him or do whatever he wants to do again. He can't fuck with that man. And look,
DC
I'm not
was
a John
doing
Jones.
well. DC
I'm not a
was
John
doing
Jones
well
fan.
until he wasn't.
Yeah,
but
I'm
they
not a
haven't
John
fought
Jones fan.
fair yet, right? Like he's cheated every time.
Right.
I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think it's going to matter. I think John Jones is the most dangerous man on the planet, period. Doesn't matter what weight class. You throw him in there with fucking Ray Cejudo and Conor McGregor and just let them fight him tag team style, and he will literally beat them both. Tag team style, right? Every time one of them gets a little beat up, if he can get over there and slap Conor McGregor's hand, Ray gets out and they try to, get the smelling salts under his nose or whatever while Conor dances around with him for a minute and he takes Conor down and Conor slaps Ray in and it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter. John Jones is the most dangerous man. I don't like the guy. He's a scumbag motherfucker. He's almost positively a cheater. He is a cheater. He's a cheater. He's a thug. He's a fake religious guy, which is the worst kind. If you're religious, I can respect that. No. If you're religious, I can respect that. But he comes out with a lot of
religious guy.
He's a fake religious guy. He uses that as kind of a shield to like deflect insults and criticisms. He's a terrible human being. His fighting style, in a lot of his fights, is virtually cheating. Forget his steroid use. He pokes people in the eye. This is the guy who hides under the mat from testers. Terrible human being. Best fighter on the planet. That's just the way it goes.
Maybe not if he's not cheating. You don't know.
Exactly.
If steroids didn't make an enormous amount of difference, then they wouldn't bother doing them.
Yeah, you take steroids away from John Jones, and he's the fourth best fighter in the weight class.
Well,
we'll see.
There's only one way to find out.
Or rather, you guys will see and relay it to me.
Did you hear Tyron Woodley's a little snippet of his single? He's dropping a single out there. The song is called "I'm Gonna Beat Your Ass," and it's.
Oh, I had no idea he was such a poet.
It's pretty simple. He basically says, "I'm gonna beat your ass." For real though.
He rhymes ass with ass.
It was pretty awful. I just heard a snippet of it that was like 3 minutes, 3 minutes long. It was terrible. It was awful. What was wonderful though, and fucking broke YouTube's music record for views in like 2 days, was Eminem's diss of Machine Gun Kelly, which I've listened to 3 or 4 times now, and is out fucking rageous. It's excellent. It's amazing. It got like 38 million views in 2 days or something like that, and I think it's like 60, 70 million views. Really good stuff. Eminem's good at what he fucking does. Chiz is over there rubbing the salt in the wound. He's like he made Cormier cry in the ring.
That's because Cormier is a kind-hearted man.
You're both right. It's true. He is a kind-hearted man. He's really sweet. He's turning 40, and that's old for a fighter.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And he is the opposite of John Jones, morally speaking, and integrity speaking, and all of that. He is the good guy, but your good guy is only as great as your bad guy is evil, and that applies to movies, books, wrestling, anything. Like the badder your bad guy is, the greater your good guy is. You don't have He-Man if you don't have fucking Skeletor. You can't have Hulk Hogan if you don't have Andre the Giant. you know, and you can't have a great Cormier without a great John Jones. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope they fight again.
Did Cormier get his tooth fixed? I know he was getting it fixed. Did you see it?
I don't know. You would think that's the sort of thing that he would wait until he's out of the game.
So I watched it like embedded or it saw it on YouTube. Cormier went to the dentist to get his tooth fixed, and he's like getting measured up and such. And Cormier is like, "Look, I know I'm missing this tooth. I lost it fighting. You know, it's not poor hygiene or anything." And I always told myself that I was going to retire, was headed out of the game. No, Cormier said he was saving it for the end of his career.
It looks fixed to me. I just saw him sort of half smile in this interview about Jones, and it was a top front tooth, right?
That's right. Yeah, it was like not the center, but like next to the center, I think.
Yeah, he's got it fixed then.
Yeah, he's on his way out. I think he might have one of those removable bridges that I associate with hockey players.
Yep. Yeah,
for now,
hockey players do that.
Yeah,
why would you pay money to fix it if it's just going to get knocked out again next game or next match?
Unless you're very confident about
it's
beating.
Your teeth.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you seen how much Brock Lesnar has slimmed down? He's little Brock now.
Is he still enormous,
talking
Brock?
about it, but I can hardly. He still looks huge to me. What is he like? Where's the slimness?
Oh, he's. Let me find a before and after. He's much smaller.
Huh?
Getting off his cycle.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine how small this guy could be.
Much smaller than he was. He wore a fucking t-shirt last time he walked out.
Fits into people clothes now.
Look at him. He's wearing a fucking shirt. He's covering up. You don't do that when you're looking enormous.
I'm looking.
The fact that could be someone smaller is insane.
What you got to keep in mind is like what he normally looks like.
I know. I'm just saying, like, he's still yoked. Who's he fighting? Who's the guy? Who's
Daniel Cormier?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's coming back to fight Daniel Cormier.
And he's not favored at all in that because Daniel Cormier is like a professional fighter, and he's like a.
Brock used to be the champion.
Yeah, he was wrestling.
Brock used to be the UFC champion at heavyweight.
Yeah, but wasn't that kind of like a farce a little bit, where it was like, oh, we want you to come do it. To do 2 fights. All right, you're ready for the championship. Like, wasn't that kind of how they did it?
He was very good until he got colitis or something like that, and he had to have like a bunch of his intestines removed, and it was a real serious injury that prevented him from doing his thing.
Kyle's right, but also Taylor's right. Like, his road to the title was easy by comparison. He I think he got Brock or Mir. What the hell? Frank Mir beat him, and then he fought someone else. Then maybe he beat Frank Mir, got a title shot, but he fought like who's the old guy, Captain America? Randy Couture, I think he beat to get the title shot. And which, Randy Couture was not even a heavyweight, really. He was a light heavyweight his whole career.
He beat Min Soo Kim. He lost to Mir. He beat Heath Herring, Randy Couture. He beat Frank Mir in the rematch. He beat Shane Carwin. He lost to Cain Velasquez. He lost to Overeem. And there was a no contest with Mark Hunt. He beat Mark Hunt, but he was on steroids.
So Shane Carwin, broken down Mir, and Heath Herring. Like, he doesn't have great wins on his resume. He has got some great losses.
And you can't say steroids because he was always on steroids. He was always on steroids in all the fights. I mean, if you discount the Mark Hunt win, then we might as well just discount all of his wins.
I can do that.
Which we could do. Which we could do.
But I would argue the people that he beat were on steroids too. Randy Couture as champion at like 47, looking 27. That guy was on steroids also.
He looked so good. It was like, oh my God, he's Captain America.
You're an inspiration that maybe I'll look like that in 2 years. Right?
Nuts. He looked great.
Sure, I didn't look like that at 27, but 47, yeah, that could be my 27. Yeah.
Male athleticism renaissance. It was impressive.
Can you imagine how frustrating it's going to be if we get to be like 70 or 80 and then they figure out like how to keep you young?
I feel like that's me. That's where I am. They're already like cracking the code. In Germany, they've got some old mice that look like really young mice. I'm just going to miss this by a little bit. You, on the other hand, like when you're 50, will be like, there's some affordable shit out there that are options there for me.
I hope so. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
When I'm 50, you'll be alive, Woody. You'll be fine.
Yeah, but they won't be able to fix that shit. How much older than am I? 20 years
like
old?
18 years older than me, I think.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll be 68. They don't turn 68 back to 18. That's not how that works.
No.
I'm
sorry. Oh, go ahead.
One of the Patreon questions, if you could live forever, but your family and friends didn't, would you? You stay the look you are now. So Kyle would be in his 30s, Taylor 20s, and I would look 700.
Yeah, I'd do that. I mean, that's basically becoming a vampire without all the negatives and superpowers.
Well, I mean, the negative is seeing everyone you ever will or have or will care about die,
Yeah, I'd do that.
I don't know. That would be
I don't think dying is going to make me feel any better.
I think that once you get to year 600 or even before that, like year 290 or something, and you've let 3 like loves of your life or whatever live and die, like you're going to be like, I feel like you'll just kill yourself.
Well, my Amazon stock is going to be doing great. So I think I'll be able to wipe those tears away and just tough it out. Yeah, I'll live forever.
If killing yourself is an option, then this is a great thing to do, right?
Oh yeah,
I love that.
You get paralyzed the second day.
Let's assume that my body can only get better, right? I can work hard, I can improve it, and then that becomes the new like ratchet forward, right? Let's assume that that's that life.
Yeah.
The problem is, how does this end? 1 trillion years from now, do I go hurtling into the sun and still not die? Am I alone on a desolate, empty planet? Am I like?
Yeah, that's.
I'm
what
a little worried about the long term here. Like the 1,000 years that I really enjoy of my life coming up might be a very small section of the rest of my life if I live forever. If I can kill myself, then yeah, I guess I would do that. It would be sad, but I'd probably just go through family after family and take this ride repeatedly.
Yeah.
But if I can't die, oh my God, there could be a hell in front of me.
Yeah, if you can kill yourself, I think it's a no-brainer. You would do it. If you can't kill yourself, I would say no. Like, I'm picturing it the same way as you. Like, what if 2100 rolls around and that's when the nuclear holocaust happens and you're left there alone on a desolate, destroyed planet, void of life, and you're just there. Like, you go into madness, but you can't even, like, there's no one. Like, that would be torture. That would be worse than any hell you could imagine. Like, and then what? Like, as the sun slowly becomes a red giant and engulfs the earth, are you like a jettisoned out just into space and you're just floating there for all eternity? Like, oh, no way. Like, that would be way too risky if you can't kill yourself.
Do you watch Doctor Who at all?
No.
Oh, they play with this concept a little bit, and they show someone who's nothing but like a piece of stretched out skin, and the characters like go back and forth in time, but they can't die, and it can be a pretty unpleasant ending. So yeah,
I would imagine so.
Chizro reincarnation, but I'm not talking about the Doctor himself. I'm talking about another character in the show.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say no, unless you can kill yourself. No, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
because Kyle, you would, unless you can kill yourself, you wouldn't do it either, would you? Like, would you be fine floating around for all eternity in space by yourself, going mad?
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Kyle might be a short-term thinker on this, but he's confident.
He'll have a lot of time to think.
Yeah, I mean, if I just incinerate my body, then I die. And like, I don't know what kind of magic we're talking here, but I assume that basically I will never age. And I'll never get any sort of cellular degradation or any sort of cancers or be affected by any disease whatsoever. However, I'm not God. So if we remove my head...
Because I was saying the downside is the whole planet dies. It's not even habitable anymore. You're hurtling towards the sun thousands of years from now, millions of years from now, and you just have a hell on Earth that you can't escape from.
Yeah. And then you're still just sitting there breathing in molten fucking hydrogen or whatever the hell. Like, that'd be terrible. You would beg for death.
The 1,000 years that you're thinking of now that you might really enjoy could be a very small portion of the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's like, let's say you have a dope ass 2,000 years, like the best 2,000 years you could ask for. And then inevitably humanity gets into a big war. Everyone's exterminated. You're left. And now you've got all of eternity. How about this? The way you die is when the entropy of the universe reaches maximum to where, everything is spreading out. Everything's spreading out, because it's just expanding into nothingness, and you were just are stretched apart until you just are a thin one-line segment in death.
Wow, you couldn't even just say the Earth goes back into the sun or something back into, or like the Earth gets sucked in. Nope.
Trying to make it scarier.
Even longer. You have to wait till the whole universe goes back.
Yep, quadrillions of years probably.
I don't think I'm going to survive that whole supernova in like 2 billion years. I'm pretty sure
you can't die. That's the whole crux of the thing.
I reject part of your magic.
Yeah,
I refuse your hypothetical and substitute my own.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't. You have to explain how it works, because what happens if we incinerate me and I'm dust? Am I just dust particles going? Ah!
Yes, and you won't like it. You'll regret that move. You'll never get laid. You'll be like, I used to have a penis and now I have dust.
After being removed from a chair, there's an attached video here. A bit of a news story, if you will.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
I'm ready.
I'm queued at 0.
All right. Ready, set, play.
More than 700 pounds is dead. And what is even more disturbing, investigators say he came home from the hospital after he hurt his knee, sat in a chair, and was never able to get out.
That was back in March. That means for 8 months, the man never moved.
That means he pooped in the chair.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even notice she had a husband.
Wednesday, EMS came to this Greenwood County home and found
the trailer. Didn't see that
Tillman Webb sitting in a chair. The report said he weighed between 700 and 900 pounds and had been stuck in the chair
between
since
7
March,
and 900.
unable to even go to the bathroom, which left him sitting in his own urine and feces.
And there was dog feces all over the house.
Look at the dog.
My bad on that. Couldn't move himself. Even neighbors say they had no idea a man even lived inside.
I mean, how can someone sit there? His wife lives with him, right? How can his wife sit there and watch him just pretty much deteriorate like that?
The report said he had to be cut out of the chair because the sores on his body had become attached to the chair itself. Rescue crews even having to cut part of the wall to get him out.
I mean, the door frame.
Was he alive or dead when they cut him out of the chair?
Haul him out on a ladder. I mean, come on. That's sad.
Meanwhile, the Greenwood County Sheriff's Office said Webb's wife fed him and took care of him as best she could. Therefore, they say charges will not be filed against anyone. They told us apparently Webb was too embarrassed about his size to ask for help. The coroner says he died from conditions caused from being so overweight.
Oh, I thought for a little bit that the chair cutting was the cause of death.
I'm sure it contributed.
No, I think they cut his dead body out of the chair.
They did, yes.
Yeah,
well, the removal from the chair is what.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, they gave him some sort of hack job liposuction to get him out of the chair.
No, I think what it was is the chair contributed to the death because you shit in that and you let your sores grow into it, and you're going to get septic. You'll start to rot, get necrotic, and then he
built up this thing in my head where they're like, "Well, we got to get him out of the chair. Who has a machete? Steak knife? That'll work.
Fire axe."
Fire axe. All right, I'll go right. You go left.
I'll take a whack at it. All right.
This only takes a minute.
You know that dog was like, I've been waiting all 5 years of my life to eat him, and they just come in and done took him.
They're like, there's dog poop all over the trailer. The dog's like, my bad. Some of those are me.
Imagine being so fat that the guess of your weight is within 200 pounds, where they're like, he's 700, hell, 900 pounds.
Yeah,
that's such a huge. If people can't guess your weight within 200 pounds,
it's about as much as a Harley big boy.
Yeah.
800
Would he
pounds.
fit in the back of a Ford F-150? Yeah, probably not. No.
800 plus or minus a hot chick.
Jesus Christ.
My goodness. At one point, I always think these people who get fused to chairs, at one point they stood up for the last time and they felt like a rip from themselves sticking to the chair for so much. And then they come back down and they sit back in the chair.
Yeah.
Like after realizing I had a wake-up call like this before. And then, no, they just sit back down and die.
Yeah, you got to go semi-aquatic when you get that big.
The ones that get fused to toilets, respect, right?
Yeah.
You've got your hygiene kind of sorted out. I mean,
that doesn't happen though.
It does.
Oh, someone
have been fused to toilet?
Yeah,
I got to do a little Googling. I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
Woman sits on boyfriend's toilet for 2 years.
This
may just be a crazy person. Oh, wait. No. Girlfriend was physically stuck to the seat. Her skin had grown around it.
Oh, we talked about that story before. We've done that story. Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Honey, I really gotta go. It's been 9 months and I haven't peed. I'm sick of shitting in the sink, you animal.
Imagine showering and she's just right there, like watching TV on a 3-inch screen, like on her phone and shit, smoking cigarettes probably. And you're just like, I gotta get the fuck out of this relationship. I gotta get a job. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
1 year fused on the toilet. Okay. 2 years fused on the toilet? 2 years? No, thank you, ma'am. I see through your chicanery.
It's crazy.
Well, Chiz has a 911 call here. I have not previewed this. Chiz, is it funny? Is this worth a listen? It's a prank call.
All right.
Prank call to 911, I suppose.
Yeah, prank call 911. That's okie dokie.
Well,
do we have a link or?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Flash player upgrade required.
Your emergency.
My Facebook game is up. Do you hear Taylor?
I got it.
Oh, sorry, I muted because I didn't want it to backfire. Yeah, Flash player update. This is Facebook video.
I got it. I did it.
Okay, are we ready?
I'm ready.
Ready, set, play.
Yeah, so I need a cleanup service and a doctor or whatever.
Sir, are you injured?
I think so, but I can't really tell what's left.
What's left of what?
My wife was in the bathroom, so I figured I'd just go in the sink, and I slipped on my own piss, caught my dong in the sinkhole. I tried to pull myself up and hit the dang switch and got the dispose out turned on.
Wait, what?
I just ground up my own dick.
Are you serious?
I just ground up my own dick.
Oh my God.
The disposal has disposed my dick all over the walls.
Sir, help is on the way.
Oh, ma'am, it's like a Tasmanian devil, one buck wild on some spaghetti in here.
Sir, if you can unlock your door, the EMT will assist you.
Oh, man, it's like a slip aside from help. I'll pass it out.
Sir? Sir?
It's like a Tasmanian devil went after some spaghetti. Went buck wild on some spaghetti in here.
I love how he goes, I slipped and my dong went in the sinkhole. It's like, how could that possibly happen? That's a really good one.
Fake though, right?
Yeah,
probably totally a prank. Yeah, and totally fake. Like I doubt that was a real 911 operator. Are you serious? You fell in there and got your the disposal has disposed of my dick all over these walls.
Oh, that's funny.
I just ground up my own dick. I'm passing out.
Dick,
That's
though.
hilarious.
The damage he's describing would require pounds of dick.
A lot of dick.
It's funny because, like, I mean, this wasn't a real 911 call, but you know, when does your garbage disposal paint the wall with food or anything?
Who has a garbage disposal in their bathroom sink?
Well, wait, no. He said his wife was in the bathroom.
Oh.
So I interpreted to mean that he peed in the kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah, he's peeing into the sink. And we've all been there when we've lived in places with one bathroom where a girl's in there taking forever, and so you go pee in the sink, right?
I prefer to pee in the sink. It's at a higher level, you know?
You like to pee? I mean, I have no qualms with pissing in the sink. I would prefer not. I like the toilet more, but if it's taken and I have to go, I'm going to pee in the sink.
No,
I would sooner pee outside. I'm not a sink peer. I thought that was unsanitary. Do you just
If I
brush
pee
your teeth
outside
right
where I
afterwards?
live, I'll get arrested.
No, you just turn the water on, blast it twice, you're good to go. It's more economical. It's more environmental.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. I mean, you need to run the water because you don't want it to be gross. Like, that is your sink. That's where you clean dishes and things.
Yeah, I peed in Woody's sink. All of them.
Peed it all.
But he didn't waste water or anything. He figured we used the sink again.
I mean, the hardest part about going to the bathroom in somebody's sink is, getting it all the way down. I wish you'd had a disposal in your bathroom sink, quite frankly.
I'll be done in a minute.
I was implying that I shat in the sink as well, but
oh, I didn't catch it.
I told it poorly.
You've seen that old meme or whatever it was of a guy being like, anybody else shit in the shower and then waffle stomp it down the drain?
Oh yeah, it's a bit. The guy says, "Who else goes to the bathroom in the shower?" And the whole audience is like, a lot of them, like 80% is like, yeah. He's like, yeah. What's the big deal? I mean, the only hard part is getting the turd through the drain. You got to stomp around there for a little while. They're like, we meant pee.
Find it. Woman sprays poop on cop. Maybe that'll be it.
Oh, that didn't happen.
There was God damn it. I need to find it because there was a woman who apparently aimed her asshole at a deputy as she was trying to get him, and she had such a rambunctious and powerful shit that she sprayed it, and it got on his hands, face, and uniform and legs. And so it was just the green apple splatters all over this guy that apparently she bent over and just fired like a cannon all over him. A plume of shit, so to speak. Like a solar flare of poop.
I'm just going to Google woman poops on cop.
Well, you're going to get a lot.
Oh, it's porno. Woman poops in cop car. Moron of the morning. Woman poops on cop to avoid arrest. Maybe that's it.
Smartly dressed woman does massive poo in lift, then walks away as if nothing happened. All right, let's watch.
All right.
We're watching this?
Did you find one, Kyle?
Well, I found this link, and this is there's a picture of the woman, which is helpful. It says a 26-year-old Kentucky woman was arrested and charged with assault after she intentionally released her bowels in an upward motion at a Madison County Sheriff's deputy who was attempting to arrest her on Friday evening. Amanda Peters, 26, of Livingston. She's 26. Look at that picture. Is currently in the detention center on identity theft, giving them false information. It says when the deputy entered her home, she locked herself in the bathroom. The citation said that Peters then prevented the deputy from arresting her by using physical force before defecating on him, causing said bodily waste to land on his face, arms, and legs of the deputy. Good God.
I got the story pretty right.
What a shitty job.
She should be so hot at 26. It's a tragedy that she looks like that. Can you guys identify the drugs just by looking at her?
Methamphetamine.
Yeah.
Take that as yes.
Living in the Midwest, I can tell meth.
So this is a Chinese woman shitting in an elevator.
Smartly dressed, I hope.
She
Very
is.
smartly dressed. And she looks... this video isn't even fucking loading for me.
Mine's queued at 0. I'm ready whenever, if you can get it to go.
I just have an image.
Yeah, mine won't even... It's not even trying to play.
Oh, mine's playing.
How big of a shit is it?
Oh, let me fast forward a bit. It is this big, about hamburger size.
Is it like a cohesive piece,
It's
or
a
is
puddle.
it more of a splattering?
It's a hamburger-sized abstract puddle.
Do you think she got some on her nice, smartly dressed shoes?
I don't think so. It didn't look like it splattered. She shits, and then she stands up, pulls up her panties, adjusts her skirt, and then she's out. She looks at it briefly, and then she's just like, open, and she's out. I saw another one where, and Asians must do this more than any other group of people because that's just their culture. They spit on the floor, they shit on the floor. What can I say? But this lady is shitting in the elevator, the elevator door opens, and there is a man there waiting to board the elevator. She goes, close, 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 close. She presses the button, and the man just stands there as the doors close, and she continues to shit.
It would have been funny if he got on with her. How awesome would it be? Would it be like, you know what? Now I'm watching.
What an alpha move that would be. Yeah, I love these videos of women shitting in public. I bet there's a subreddit. Let me see if there is a shitting in public subreddit. It just
Are
seems
you
like
shitting in my shitting elevator?
Public shitting subreddit.
It's probably going to be some sexual thing, knowing Reddit.
Well, here's scat fetish. Here's I'm a total piece of shit. Here's reddit.com/r/poop.
Well, that sounds funny.
It's just poop. Let me go there. See what's up.
No, it is just pictures of people's poop.
Here's a dog. This one's dog poop. The dog's standing there looking at it. He looks guilty. Oh no! All right, this fellow has. I don't know if you can show this. It's shit, but it just seems pornographic. It seems inappropriate. Go to top all if that link doesn't automatically make it top all. Ugh.
That guy's holding his poop.
He has fished out his poop from the toilet. And I'm not exaggerating when I say it is the size of the biggest corn dog you've ever seen. It is 8 inches long easily. And while it does taper on one end, it is at least this big around, like as big around as not a Coke can, but close. As big around as a Red. It's like this fucking can of Red Bull.
It's like a big can of Red Bull. And you know what else I'm noticing is look at the rim of the toilet seat. There is shit on the rim. This came out with either such fervor or he picked it up and dragged it there. But there's poop all over this god. This looks fake. How could someone force something like that out of their ass? Like hot.
I'm rediscovering something I already knew, which is I don't like seeing people's poop.
That must be at least 7 Keurigs.
There's bigger poops if you scroll down.
You know what? I'm actually fine.
I'm gonna vomit. Yeah.
She's going. I can't.
Don't scroll down because there's one of a man actively shitting and it's ass and asshole.
That one's bigger.
It looks like something. It looks like an eel is escaping his asshole. It is.
We talked about that story too.
I scrolled down too far and there's some like really loose shits and I guess those make me even more sick.
There's one that's a perfect swirl.
Fuck
it
all
looks
that.
like the soft serve ice cream.
Or like the emoji.
Fuck all
yeah.
that. That's awful. All right.
Well, is that a wrap? Do we have any outros?
Yeah, I have an outro here. Ever wish you didn't need to buy batteries, coils, a tank, and a bottle just to get started vaping? A-Bay, the new vape system from the creators of Zample Box, changes all of that. A-Bay's hardware blends simplicity with top-shelf quality. A-Bay features a super compact battery, high-capacity pods that are more than twice the capacity of Juul pods, and that feature ceramic coils so you won't ever get a burnt head. A-Bay features a perfectly curated lineup of 5 delicious flavors, so you're sure to find one that's perfect for you. For a limited time, get a free A-Bay kit when you visit abay.com. That's abay.com. Shiz has one of those. He likes it a lot. He says it is better than the Juul, and I am waiting on mine to arrive. I'm looking forward to seeing.
Me too.
Very cool. PKA 405.